Is Monty in the Morning, the show Phoenix Magazine readers voted #1 talk radio show in Arizona.
#1 during your morning commute.
#1 whenever news breaks during your day.
And #1 whenever and wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man, how the heck are you? It is the Monty Show. Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. LeBron James broke the record last night. We will talk all about it. I know it's what you're here for, right? As the preeminent sports talk show in America, you and I both know you're here for it. We'll talk about Danny Ainge, the Utah Jazz CEO, frustrating the rest of the NBA. And again, I know, wait. I know, hold on. Got to stop the music because we did it again, Jake.
Yeah, we did.
We did it again.
We did.
It's Victory Lap Wednesday, right after Victory Lap Tuesday, which was preceded by Victory Lap Monday.
Now, if I remember right, we almost dislocated our arm.
Right, I did, actually.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the integrity of my shoulder.
Right.
SMU is said to be the next target of the Pac-12 in expansion.
What?
Yeah, I don't know how we do it every single time. And I'm good looking. We'll talk about that coming up on the show. And do you guys go to the movies? What is the last movie you saw in the theater? AMC says it's going to get more expensive to go to the movies. I mean, now, I know that you and your supposed girlfriend, you guys never leave the house ever.
Uh-huh.
But have you taken your current love interest to the movies of late?
I have not.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Cheap F. But it is what it is, I guess.
Okay.
I love going to the movies. It's something I have always loved.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of great movies out lately. I think the last one we went to was Top Gun.
Yeah, you just have no taste in movies. That's why you don't know great. And it's not movies, it's films. Please.
Films, yeah, sorry.
It's films.
Right.
Thank you. The Monty Show is presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. I say it every day on this show. If you've been in an accident, you need to have that name in your head, The Advocates, right? You need to know that you can get to theadvocates.com. You need to understand you can chat with an attorney online 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com because they're the best for you because they have experience. They're not asking you to pay them any money up front. You don't pay retainers because they don't have retainers. You don't pay consultation fees because they don't have consultation fees. All they have is the best injury attorneys in the business at theadvocates.com. I see all of the vitriol in the chat over LeBron James. How big of a story?
Hate LeBron, dude.
How big of a story is this? That LeBron James last night, if you missed it, LeBron James broke the all-time scoring record held for 39 years by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the captain. He breaks that record last night, and the heat on Twitter was remarkable. Why is there so much vitriol for LeBron?
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's the off the court stuff or just plainly just hating on him to hate on him. I really don't know. I mean, you'd have to ask these people. Because again, like we spoke about yesterday. I mean, it's no secret. Like LeBron's not my favorite player, but there's no denying that you have to respect what he's been able to accomplish here. And I think that in today's day and age of athlete. We had this discussion about Tom and his retirement.
It's Tommy, please.
Tommy and his retirement. And people were all pissed about that too. So I don't know if it's just, athletes who have longevity and have been playing a long time, and if you're just burnt out on those guys or what. But what I'm telling you is that you're hating on a guy who's doing something special. And I think that, no matter who you are, LeBron lover, LeBron hater, at a minimum, I think you have to be able to say, okay, this guy clearly did something special. I don't like the guy, but, you got to respect him.
Yeah, and I think when you look at some of the comments coming in last night about how he's selfish and they shouldn't stop the game, It's the all-time career scoring record. They shouldn't stop the game for LeBron. That's crazy. They had a 10-minute ceremony to honor him as he broke nobody has ever scored more points in the NBA than LeBron James.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't stop the game. People calling him selfish for stopping the game. People saying that his teammates don't like him because Anthony Davis didn't applaud when LeBron broke the record. Or, like, I saw the criticism of people saying that LeBron didn't immediately go over to Kareem. They did a ceremony at half court with Kareem and LeBron where Kareem hands him a basketball.
Yeah.
I think it is, and again, this is just my opinion, I think it's one of the most difficult records to break. I don't know that we will see this again in our lifetimes. I really doubt that we will again see somebody break the scoring record for a career in the NBA. I don't think in my lifetime I will ever see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's, it's that's what I'm saying. Like, it just is such a simple and straightforward thing, in my opinion. Like, I don't mean to dumb it down, but like, it's like, okay, I understand that people don't necessarily enjoy LeBron, in every single aspect of LeBron that LeBron brings to the table. Like, I get that, but this is the all-time NBA scoring record, man. This is, I agree, one of the most difficult, challenges to overcome. I mean, it's not one of those that's just like, oh, you had, a couple of big years, or this isn't like, putting up 81 in a game, I would say is easier than doing this. Putting up, one, like, single game achievements, in my opinion, are easier to accomplish than this record because it takes so long to accumulate damn near 40,000 points, man. Like, that's a lot of points. And think about all the bad teams Bron's been on. Think about, all the playoff runs, like the longevity, the how much work he's had to put in. Like,
dude,
that's what I think people don't understand. Like, that's why I respect it, because it's like, yeah, is his winning percentage in the NBA Finals on the lower end? Sure. But that doesn't mean that the work he put in to get there is just discounted. It takes so much to do this. So that's why I respect him, and I'm also surprised that people can't just simply say, like, yeah, this is a pretty cool moment in our life.
Well, and Kevin Durant is 12,000 points behind.
Yeah.
I said 12,000 points behind. KD is always hurt now, it feels like. That's the closest guy to LeBron James right now. 12,000 points. You go down a little further, and you're seeing Allen Iverson, James Harden. It is 14,000 points behind James Harden. He's not going to play long enough. Russell Westbrook, no chance. Like, this record is not going to be broken for another 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I think it is insurmountable. I think it is. I think it's an incredible achievement. It just. What it takes in today's NBA to play this long at his size, at his weight, it's just, I understand haters, and I even embrace that in sports. But today is a day where you tip your cap to LeBron and understand that the conversation, if you haven't seen the highlights yet, at halftime, LeBron and his kids were standing there talking about, yeah, should I break this record tonight? Should I go and get it? Should I go and do it? And then he goes and does it. And he broke it down by, I need 8 points a quarter.
Yeah.
You have like 16 points he had to get, and he went and got him in the third quarter.
Well,
it was amazing to me.
The family dynamic, I also think, is something that's really cool. I mean, obviously, we're family on this show. And so for me personally, like, I think it's just a cool little wrinkle to the whole situation that, because LeBron's been talking about playing with Bronny for a couple of years now. And like, to see that Bronny's there, and like, they can kind of share that moment, and just it's just a cool thing, man. And well,
think about what that means to Bronny, though.
Yeah.
And think about what that means to Bryce, his younger son, who was also there, as Jake said. Like, being exposed to that moment and being exposed to that kind of history is preparing them to go on to the next level. Like, I listened to what Josh Giddey said after the game last night, the young Australian for OKC, who, by the way, went on to win the game, we should point out. Josh Giddey said, I grew up with LeBron as my favorite player. I idolized him. To be on the floor with him when he broke the record was special. I can't even imagine what being Josh Giddey must be like, what being Shea Gilgeous-Alexander must be like to watch something like this happen, let alone to see your dad being the one to do that and knowing that you're coming up behind him. I just thought it was a really special experience. If you're not happy for LeBron today, I don't know that you can be happy with people, with as a person, rather, I meant to say.
Part of Bron's like thing is that people don't feel like he's a pure scorer, and I love. We were kind of talking about this yesterday about JJ Redick's podcast and what he had talked about, and talking about Bron, being the best scorer the league's ever seen now, like I tend to agree with that. Bron just does it in a different way. It's not necessarily the pretty J every time. Like, the reason I love Kevin Durant's game so much is because he lives and dies on the jumper, and it's beautiful to watch him get to his spots.
It looks easy with KD. It looked easy with Kobe and Michael. It never looks easy with LeBron. The guy has to work pretty much for every bucket that he gets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Eric in Raleigh says, LOL, LeBron can't spell Lakers lose without LeBron. Wow, that's harsh, bro. Capazzo says Top Gun Maverick was the last movie I went to in a theater.
Yeah.
Yusuf says latest Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. Okay. I loved Top Gun, by the way. What's up, Jaron Patterson? My guy. He says, good morning, fam. Missed you guys. Best radio show on the planet. Goat. Appreciate that. What's up? Matt Ritson says, good morning. Pudge NYC. What's up,
dude?
I'm telling you, Pudge, your Knicks are on the verge.
Yeah.
Of making a huge deal. A huge deal. I think they're really close. James Knight from Australia, mate. Good morning, James. By the way, James said we're never in the chat on Instagram. We're in the chat like
all day.
All day.
All day.
I don't know how much more we could be in that Instagram chat.
You're welcome.
James says, if I was LeBron's teammate, I would appreciate him balling out on the game with a game still to win. I mean, it's not about that game. I think last night was about all-time history. Although I will say, I thought it was interesting that Anthony Davis did not stand. He was sitting on the end of the bench, and when LeBron hit the fadeaway, Anthony Davis wasn't celebrating. Mm-hmm. He did not stand up. He did not clap. He just sat there and said nothing and did nothing. What do you read anything into that?
I mean, I don't know if I read into it far enough to be like, oh, Anthony Davis is a bad teammate or whatever. I mean, who the hell knows? I mean, the guy, for all I know, the guy's back is killing him. I mean, and I'm not even trying to be dramatic. I mean, this guy is constantly hurt, and I'm not saying that's the reason he wasn't applauding. I'm just simply saying that there could be any number of reasons, and the thing that I think you have to point to is that we don't get insight in the locker room to their relationship. Obviously, they're close, and LeBron on the bench, telling AD that he loves him, and he whatever, like just sharing positive energy with them. Like, they're fine. They're fine. I think that Anthony Davis, I have to imagine, feels a bit like, yeah, man, like this is a really special moment. I've got a really special teammate, and I kind of need to live up to it for him on some level, because if I was Anthony Davis, I would kind of feel that way. Like, man, I've really struggled to stay healthy. Like, I really got to focus on staying on the floor for LeBron. Like, I'm probably never going to play with a guy again who's as good or as impactful as LeBron James, And so if I was a guy that had the skill level and the talent and the ability that Anthony Davis had, but also at the same time was fighting the injuries in my body and just can't stay healthy, I have to imagine when I'm quite literally witnessing NBA history, and as I think it was Pudge said, Black American history, yeah, I'm going to be impacted by that a lot. So I'm not going to take the leap and say the guy's a bad teammate, but I do think it was interesting he was the only one of the teammates not applauding. You have to question that.
And I think that if you're a guy like Anthony Davis, in moments like that, don't you realize how much of your career you've wasted?
Yeah.
I mean, I would think. Again, I don't know Anthony at all. I couldn't speak for him, but I think you have to, in that moment, understand what LeBron's done and what you have not. Because there's no doubt in my mind anyway, Anthony Davis is just as talented as LeBron. But your best ability is your availability. And Anthony Davis is routinely unavailable to the Lakers.
I think that's simple.
He is routinely unavailable to LeBron. And he has been routinely unavailable throughout his career. And there is no doubt that Anthony Davis is a disappointment. And it's got to be tough to see LeBron doing the things that LeBron did last night and the symbolism that's involved with what LeBron has accomplished over his career.
Yeah.
Simply because he's put so much time, effort, and money into keeping his body in shape, and Anthony Davis has not. And we heard all summer long about how Anthony Davis is in the best shape of his career, and then he's missed a ton of games this year. I imagine that's got to be difficult because Anthony Davis must believe he's one of the best players in the NBA, and I think he is, but he's never healthy, so what does it matter?
Right.
All that talent means nothing when you can't play. And I think when you see a guy like LeBron, whose career has been defined by longevity and greatness, that's got to be hard for Anthony Davis. I mean, it is, and I think uniquely hard for Anthony Davis. Russell Westbrook was never that good. You look at a guy like, again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Josh Giddey, the two best players on OKC, that's an inspiration for them. But now you look at a guy in Anthony Davis who's not young. He has not lived up to his ability. He has not stayed healthy. That's got to be tough to watch. I can only imagine for AD that's tough to watch. You know, as a competitor, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's tough to watch. James Knight says, I'm glad OKC won the game, having to endure that circus. Oh, I don't think there's any doubt it's a tip of the cap to OKC.
Yeah.
I mean, to win the game in that atmosphere had to be difficult. You have people paying $75 a ticket.
Yeah.
To be in that seat.
But I think if you're a player, aren't you like, hey, like, we know what tonight's going to be? You know, like, we know.
No, you have no way to prepare for that. And I think this is something that people don't understand. It's playing in a Super Bowl, playing in the playoffs, because that's what that atmosphere is. The atmosphere last night is that of a playoff game. You have no idea how you're going to feel in that moment or in that game. And I just point to the box score and look at the performances last night. And hey, man, I think if you are OKC and you see that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went for 30 points and only hit 1 3, you got to feel pretty good about that. And you look at you look at a guy like a Jalen Williams, 25 points in 40 minutes. Got to feel good about that. Josh Giddey drops 20. You know, you look at LeBron. LeBron has 38 last night. Russell Westbrook has 27. And again, Anthony Davis plays 31 minutes and scores 13 points. Who did the moment weigh on? Well, it weighed on Anthony Davis. It didn't weigh on SGA. It didn't weigh on Russell Westbrook, who I thought actually played well last night. It weighed on Anthony Davis. I think it's very telling. And I know we're at the trade deadline, and it's easy to say this now, but if you've watched this show at all, you know I'm a believer they should trade Anthony Davis. Mm-hmm. I think Anthony Davis is not a franchise player. I don't believe you can count on him. I don't think he's a guy that LeBron can pass the ball to in confidence. And again, that's why I say I think the Lakers are wasting LeBron James because you're not putting talent around him that he knows he can ball with.
Right.
I think it's a huge problem. I really do. Eric and Raleigh, I love that the outcome of the game is an afterthought. We play to win the game. Well, last night was about American sports history. I mean, I don't think people understand the magnitude of that record. I don't know if there's a more difficult record to break. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would be. I really don't know what that would be because I think it is going to be 40 more years before we see it again.
Yeah, and I just think that it's a great moment. Like why? Like I guess I just wonder. Like, you know, like I love NBA fans and I love you guys. I love James. I love Eric. Like I love everyone in the chat. But what is the struggle to be able to set everything aside for one night and say, hey, this is about LeBron? Like why is that? Why is that so difficult to do? Who cares in this moment, in this night, if they won the game or not? Like, yes, you play to win the game, but he's been winning the game most of his career. Like, that's why we're here. You can't lose sight of that, you know? And
for a guy like James Knight, though, and James, I'm not speaking for you. I mean, James is Australian. I don't think anything LeBron does impacts James the way it impacts any of us that are in the States. Like, I think for a guy like James Knight, he's seen so many different things. And like when you live in Australia, what happens in American sports is it impacts you through a very different filter.
Yeah.
So, James, I understand your indifference to LeBron. Like he was talking about, where's his comment on TNT? TNT was unbearable. I switched to the Spanish broadcast. Exactly right. Exactly right. Like, to me, that is quintessential dude. I don't even disagree with you on that. I really don't. Frank H., good morning. He says, congratulations to LeBron, but that was embarrassing last night. The Lakers lost another game they clearly should have won. They are one of two teams with two top 10 players and have sucked for the last 2 years. Is Anthony Davis any longer a top 10 player?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean,
I don't know if he is.
I don't think we can say they have two top 10 players. They've had two top 10 players for other than that. It's been LeBron and everyone else.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah. I don't know. Ryan S. says they had a rehearsal before the game. If it would have happened at the end of the game or overtime, they wouldn't have played on. They would have played on. Yes, they would have. Exactly right. It was late in the third quarter.
Well, it was scripted. It was scripted.
Great point, Ryan S. All of sports is scripted.
Right.
We know that now.
Right.
Thank you to the NFL. Troy Cushing, a member of the program, good morning. Louis Capazzo says, don't forget to crush the like button, please. Program. Please, which is what our first comment in this morning. Lopes fan Gabe says, hit that like button on the way in, casuals.
Yep.
Mark Hales, good morning to you. Nameless School says, good morning, my dudes. Watched LeBron break the record last night. Shot was amazing. The dude dropped an F-bomb in his speech. I mean, the fadeaway, I do maybe not even gently say, LeBron is arrogant. I mean, talking about signature, whatever he called I think he said a signature dunk or, my signature fadeaway. Like, what signature fadeaway? Shut up.
Well,
I just want to be like, get out of here.
Your best point so far today has been that it looks difficult for LeBron. It didn't look difficult for Kobe or Mike.
No, it didn't.
And I think that I think on its own may be the singular reason, the core, deepest reason why he gets hate. Because Kobe never got hate. Like Michael...
But they've been showing Michael Jordan highlights all morning long. Like his dunks on Patrick Ewing or the Dikembe Mutombo finger wag, that looked easy.
Yeah.
Everything LeBron does, he's taken on like three guys and, like the free throw shooting, the 3-point stroke is always awkward. Like it's the game, in my opinion. He's a great athlete. He's not an easy athlete.
Yeah.
He's not a guy and he's a big hulking dude.
He plays a physical game. Mike and Kobe and like KD play a finesse game.
Yes,
right?
I would agree with
that.
They
play
yes.
a finesse game, and so it's just different. But that said, there's nothing I love more. Like I have memories of Bron on Christmas Day, like when it was Heat and Lakers at Staples Center with LeBron wearing his bright-ass green Christmas shoes, and it was Wade off the glass to LeBron for a ridiculous alley-oop. Like, I remember all that stuff, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when we talk about guys like Josh Giddey or, like, that generation of player who's in the league now, all those guys, LeBron is their Michael Jordan. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like LeBron's impact is massive. And I think, luckily for MJ and Kobe, their legacy will live forever. I don't think that Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant will ever be forgotten or underappreciated. My question, though, is will LeBron's legacy be that same way? Or 30 years from now, will there be the next LeBron? You know what I mean? Or the next guy that will sort of replace that? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a very interesting question. Cammie Lynn says, hello. Hi, Cammie Lynn. Mr. Preston says, good morning, fellas. It's hump day. I'm excited for the show. Let's go.
Let's go.
Kenai Johnson, good morning to you, sir. He says, top of the morning, fellas. You might lose your chance with playing too much hardball.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
What do you mean by that, bro?
You mean Danny Ainge. We'll talk about Danny Ainge coming up in 6 minutes on the show.
The Showgrum.
The Showgrum. Program. Pudge says, I don't hate LeBron. I hate his delusional fans. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Okay.
Because those that defend LeBron, I don't disagree with that. Let's see. Mike Maples, who's a member of the program. Good morning, Mapes. LOL, Boyd, their agent is real GM of the Lakers. Exactly. Because Boyd Lake said, remind me, did LeBron insist on signing Anthony Street Clothes Davis? You typed out the whole name. Anthony Street Clothes Davis to the Lakers. They share the same agent.
Street Clothes Davis.
I don't believe that. I don't remember LeBron like, oh, you're going to do it. I don't remember him doing that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he sanctioned that move. I'm sure he was happy about that move. They won a championship together. They absolutely won a championship together. Was it worth it? I don't know. I have no idea. James Knight, a member of the program, says if anybody's fadeaway was a signature on the floor last night, it was SGA, who's I think still flies way under the radar.
Yeah.
By the way, did anybody see my guy last night? My dude, the one and only, the king, the stud, Cam Thomas. He scored 40 more last night, but my guy Booker's back.
Yeah.
My guy Book is back.
Dude's a little rusty. He's got some work to do.
I thought he looked smooth. Let's see. Capazzo says, oh, Jake, Kobe didn't get hate after the rape accusations, and everyone always wondered if he really did it, even though he was found not guilty. Remember the size of that rock he bought Mrs. after? Yeah, you guys remember the diamond that he bought Vanessa after that whole thing?
I'm talking about, dude, and I appreciate that, and you're not wrong, but I'm just talking about general hate. LeBron gets hated on, like, so much, dude. Like, Kobe, yes, had that off-the-court incident and had some issues, but nobody's talking about that. Nobody wants to talk about it. That's not how we remember Kobe. Like, it's just tired.
No, LeBron's arrogance and the flaunting of his greatness pisses people off.
Yeah.
It is that simple that you see a guy who's got his kids and his wife and, you know, accolades from an entire building. Like, I think there's a lot of vitriol for LeBron James.
Yeah.
And I think that Mike, at the end of the day, Michael Jordan didn't have Twitter to go after the president. Michael Jordan didn't. It's a different day and time.
Yeah.
Like, social media in this age of professional sports has changed the way we deal with athletes. And I think LeBron is a great example of that. LeBron is somebody that puts himself out there and he puts out cryptic tweets that we have to wonder what they mean. And it pisses people off. He goes after the president. It pisses people off.
That's right, T.
He opens up a school and sends underprivileged children to college. It pisses people off. Like, social media has changed the way we interact with people. We didn't have Twitter during Kobe's time. We didn't have Twitter certainly during Mike's time. Today is a different NBA. It's a different world, and that's why I continue to tell you, stop comparing LeBron James to, like last night, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. There's no comparison. Stop comparing LeBron to Michael. There's no comparison. They played in two completely different eras. I just don't think you can do it. I don't think you can do it.
Yeah.
Pudge NYC says MJ stayed out of politics. What if MJ had Twitter? What if he'd had Twitter? Would he have gone after Bill Clinton? Would he have? I don't know. Would he have gone after the mayor of Chicago? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Twitter was started in 2006.
Yeah.
Kobe's career started in November 3rd, 1996. So over half his career, Twitter didn't even exist. And Twitter really didn't even get going until, like 2010, 2011? Like, it really didn't pick up steam. People weren't really on it until then. So that's why I say, like, Bron's just had it different, dude. And I think that I guess where I come down on it is he's not even close to my favorite player, but I just respect what he's been able to do, and even more so because he's not an easy athlete, as you put it. He doesn't just have that easy, smooth, I'm just more talented than you, ability. He's had to fine-tune his game.
I agree.
He's had to, and by the way, I think it should also be said in terms of longevity and fine-tuning, we all remember, like, maybe we don't, Bron ran into a bunch of back issues when his time in Miami was ending. I remember the cramping. I remember the issues he had on the bench in the NBA Finals. I believe it was his second to last year in Miami. And so he had to change his shot. He had to change his weightlifting routine. He had to change all this stuff to keep playing. So that's where I come down. I just feel like the guy deserves credit.
Yeah.
Just, hey, great, yeah, you lost the game, but that wasn't really the point. Last night was about Bron. Now, next game, I don't know if that's tonight or tomorrow night, probably tomorrow night, that's going to be about winning and losing the game. And now we're on to, are you going to make the playoffs, and are you actually going to do something?
No. We're on to Rob Pelinka sucks. What do you think, LeBron?
Please.
That's what we're on to. We'll get back to,
Seriously.
hey, LeBron, your general manager sucks. Your thoughts.
Seriously.
That's what we'll go back to in the NBA.
First, you're last.
You know, all right, Jazz coming up in a minute. Jeremy Severe, good morning to you. He's a member of the program. He says, I don't think anyone will beat LeBron's. I think too many players will be injury prone because the mileage they put in on AAU years. Great point. Great point. Kurt Myers says it costs Kobe the Hope Diamond to get out of that one. Yes, it did. And I've done similar things, you know, because as a beautiful, good-looking man, women throw themselves at me all the time. So, you know, I have, and it's, you know, sometimes it's hard to say no. And so you buy diamonds. I mean, you know.
How about that?
I would know nothing about that. Speaking of buying diamonds, Mrs. Monty says, listening while killing it on the Peloton. Good morning.
What was that you were just saying about all these women and
The
fawning?
hoes?
You know,
I'm just saying.
Hey, come
Everybody, including Mrs. Monty, hit the like button, please. Anton says MJ is the secret father of Jimmy Butler.
Here
He's
we
not
go.
even the secret father.
Here we go.
Well, I'm telling you, it's true.
Infowars.com.
It's true. Garrett Mears, a member of the program. Good morning to you. Says LeBron might seem arrogant at times, but who millionaire doesn't? He's not the worst. At least I guess he got most of his money by playing ball and being extremely good at it. Ethical shoes? Nope. Like, I love this. Like last night, Enes Kanter, you know, tweeting about how LeBron turns a blind eye to oppression in China. Okay, are we really going to single LeBron out for that? He has a Nike contract. Okay, great. He turns a blind eye to oppression in China. Doesn't mean he's not the all-time leading scorer, Ennis.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I hate about the petty, arrogant guys. You know, Yusuf says, LOL, I love the Beavis laugh.
Well, yeah.
Yes, so do I. All of our NBA talk and Jazz talk on the program is brought to you by our good friends at Quick Quack Car Wash. Make sure you get to Quick Quack Car Wash and you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. You know what, man? We love it when you guys send us pictures. Get to Quick Quack today, snap a picture, and tweet at us. Put it in our Instagram chat. Get after it at Quick Quack Car Wash because, you know, as soon as you hear Quick Quack, it's a great car wash. The car's going to look great. Klaus is sitting out in the parking lot, shining like he never has shined before, thanks to our friends at Quick Quack. And the thing I like is they're really friendly. I roll up to Quick Quack. I'm in and out of there in 5-7 minutes, no matter how long the line is. We're in and out of there quick. And the people are friendly. I don't have to deal with some like pagoda computer thing.
Yeah.
I roll up. They put my plate in. Hey, Monty, here's your free dashboard wipe. Anything else you need today? And they're friendly. They wave. And again, the car wash is second to none. Second to none.
Yeah.
By the way, bring the kids because there's all kinds of lights and colored lights and different soaps that fall on your car. It is a great experience at Quick Quack Car Wash, who presents all of our Utah Jazz and NBA talk here on the Monty Show. Jazz and T-Wolves, do we get a video in honor of Rudy Gobert tonight?
No,
yeah.
They do. Oh my God,
they did that already.
Remember the circus? They'll do something. They'll do something.
Nah, it's over. He's already been back. The Jazz are a game under 500. They're 10th in the West. This is an important game, but one of the things that we are definitely seeing with the Utah Jazz is that there is a fog hanging around this team because of the trade deadline. Mike Conley openly talked about it. Jordan Clarkson talked about it the other night. And you just wonder how long is too long to wait to make a deal, because we heard yesterday from sources that Danny Ainge has a very high asking price on Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley, and Malik Beasley, three of the most in-demand guys. He's asking, by some NBA sources, 2 first-round picks and a player in return for Jordan Clarkson. That's a lot of bread, dude. I don't know if Danny is going to continue to hold that high of an asking price, but it is shocking that you believe that you can get a first-round pick for Malik Beasley, Mike Conley, and 2 first-round picks for Jordan Clarkson. That seems like an awfully steep price, especially when you have other competition. Like Mike Conley's the best example of this. Fred VanVleet is available, and the Clippers are all in on Fred VanVleet right now. And I think a lot of it is they don't want to give up a first-round pick to get Mike Conley, nor would I. And I think it is Danny being unreasonable, but does he come off that asking price? I don't know. We'll find out in about 36 hours from now when the NBA trade deadline passes. It is tomorrow at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Is Danny Ainge holding too high of an asking price? 2 first-round picks and a player for Jordan Clarkson is too high. That is exceptionally high. Now, of course, you're going to have to get a player in return to make the salaries work. But 2 first-round picks for a guy that's on the wrong side of 30 and is going to be a free agent this summer, Jake, that seems like an awful lot to ask by Danny Ainge.
Yeah, and I think it suggests what we've been talking about, that Ryan Smith doesn't want to trade Jordan Clarkson. I think that Danny obviously wants to get the most he can get for these guys, but I think it's underselling it a bit to say that that's asking too much. I think it's an asinine price. That's what I think. I think that 2 picks and a player for Jordan Clarkson is crazy. No one's going to pay that. That's just not like that's like all-star player level value, right? Like that's like, hey, you're a stud in this league. You're, someone that we could build a team around. Like that's the kind of price you're asking for a guy who's a 6th man of the year and as a starter on a pretty mediocre team, got some rumblings, a little smoke as an all-star, but never really was going to get in. So to me, it just suggests what we've been told. Ryan Smith doesn't want to trade Jordan Clarkson, and what I've been concerned about, and for those of you who listen every day, you're not unfamiliar with this take. I'm concerned that Danny Ainge is going to be a little bit too greedy, that Danny Ainge is going to try to Ainge too many people, and it's not going to work out. And then you're not going to make enough deals, and you're going to wind up waiting till summer, which would be a huge mistake in my opinion. Right now, your trajectory's nice. You're going up and to the right now. You're on a good path. You got your money right. You've got your draft capital right. But if you don't get this trade deadline right, and I've said it before and I'll keep saying it, you don't get this trade deadline right, now we got to have a different conversation. We got to have a conversation about, okay, well, what was the mindset at the trade deadline? What are we doing? Like like Malik Beasley has no business being here past the trade deadline. Mike Conley, I think, could be here, but given the Fred VanVleet sweepstakes and how many teams right now today need a point guard, he has no business being here past the trade deadline. There's way too much demand for a guy like him. So to me, it's been a concern over the last couple of weeks because I haven't been hearing and we haven't been hearing that, yeah, Danny is deep in conversations and they're putting deals together. What have we heard? Well, Danny's got a couple of these deals, first round, a first-round pick for JC. That's what he's got because Danny's asking too much and teams are just saying, okay, well, we're never going to pay that. Here's what you get. Take it or leave it. That's what I'm concerned about with Danny Ainge, and it is – I just can't emphasize enough. You can't miss on this deadline. You can't have a deadline go by where you do one deal and call it good. That's just not – that's not going to work. And yeah – the summer window is always fruitful. It's always productive. But I want that summer window to be fruitful and productive for the team that should be made through the deadline, not the team that we have today. That's the difference.
Yeah, I think when you look at the situation with the Jazz, I think you're starting to see that you just have a lot of questions around what the Jazz philosophy here is. I think this story yesterday with Matt Ishbia taking over control of the Phoenix Suns, as we told you on Monday, I guess it was. Matt Ishbia had been approved by the Board of Governors, and he took over control of the club yesterday. And then immediately you hear this story that they're bringing in Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas for a, quote, significant front office role. I don't know how this continues to happen. You look at what Isaiah Thomas did in Toronto when they were an expansion team. He was an abject disaster, a failure. You look at what Isaiah Thomas did with the CBA, the Continental Basketball Association. He was a failure. You look at what Isaiah Thomas did with the New York Knicks. He was a not only a failure on the basketball side, there were massive scandals inside the organization related to the way he treated people. His time in New York was a disaster.
Yeah.
So the Phoenix Suns are going to naturally ask him to come in and have a significant role in the front office that's already achieving at a very high level that brought this Phoenix Suns organization to the NBA Finals. So to improve on that, you bring in Isaiah Thomas. I think this is incredibly damaging to the Phoenix Suns. And I do think the Suns are going to make moves. I just think this is really damaging to the Phoenix Suns to bring in a guy like Isaiah Thomas. And I think it damages the opportunity for Danny Ainge and the Jazz to make a trade with the Suns. I look at this story that Danny is asking for 2 first-round picks for Jordan Clarkson. I'm with you. There is I was told yesterday by sources that there is a belief around the NBA that Ryan Smith does not want to trade. Jordan Clarkson, he believes that they believe they can re-sign him in the summer. I think that's a huge mistake. I think one of the things that I would say is re-signing Jordan isn't a mistake. The money it's going to take to re-sign Jordan Clarkson is the mistake in that transaction. You need to trade Jordan. If he is going to re-sign here in the summer, you would still trade him. He has told you, hey, if there's an opportunity to get to an NBA championship contender, I'm all for it. You should trade him and get a first-round pick for him. And then if he truly wants to be here, he'll re-sign with you in the summer. But it's foolish to take the risk and get nothing in return, because chances are Jordan Clarkson's going to get between $22 and $24 million a year for a minimum of 3 years. That's money that you cannot spend if you're the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
That is $72 million at a minimum that Jordan Clarkson's going to bring in free agency. Do you really want to commit $72 million to this version of Jordan Clarkson? Man, that's crazy. And the other thing I think you have to consider is that the bidding war is probably going to require a 4th year, probably an option year, that could bring that deal upwards of, and it's hard for me to even say it, upwards of $100 million over 4 years for Jordan Clarkson. That's crazy money. $96 million. Nah, bro. I'm not doing that.
Well, and doesn't this have like all the symbols of the classic small market bad basketball deal? Isn't that what this kind of has shades of? Like I think about, just over the years, of the bad contracts. Like the Duncan Robinson contract is a great example.
It's a bad contract.
Of a guy who got overpaid, and I know, again, on the show, I know over the course of the last 2 years, we've talked all about Gobert's contract and how that was a bad deal. But what really is the difference between today's Utah Jazz organization and the prior incarnation if you give Jordan Clarkson that contract?
Nothing. There is no difference. And, one of the guys we were talking about yesterday, and I know you're not very good on the NBA. I mean, you don't.
I'm just a casual. I'm a hack on YouTube. So, and by the way, our sources are Trust Me Bro. So, it is what it is.
Who's a cashier at Maverick.
Right. We get it.
But we even disagree on like Obi Toppin. We were sitting there watching the Knick game last night, and Obi Toppin essentially getting his cardio in.
Yeah.
And you believe that Obi Toppin has value to this team. I do not.
I believe that Obi Toppin is right now a mediocre, as you said, getting his cardio in, right? Like, it's true. That's what he's doing. But I also believe at the same time, Obi Toppin is a guy who's got a body that you can't teach, right? I think he's 6'10", really, he's a strong player. But at that size, he can really move. And what plagues NBA teams right now is guys who are 6'10" or 7 foot that really can't move. It's why Laurie is so good, right? Because Laurie's got athleticism
and
why
Udoka Azubuike is not.
Exactly, precisely. And so my point with Obi is very simple. Hey, yes, he's a project, 100%. He is a project. But if you're the team that can sign him on a really team-friendly contract, whatever that would look like for his value, if you can get a team-friendly deal done with Obi Toppin, to me, that could make sense because you've shown the ability now with David Fizdale and company to develop some of these guys. And I know a lot of it is want to. I know a lot of these guys, if they all had the same want to and the same work ethic, they would all be all-stars. And I'm with that. And if Obi doesn't want to work on his game, great. Pass on.
He's a role player. In my mind, Obi Toppin never scales to be one of your 5 best players. And listen, he's not old. He's 24 years old. He's 6'9", shoots the corner three well. Is he a better player than a Jared Vanderbilt? Probably. Does he scale to a better level than Jared Vanderbilt? Probably. But I just don't know what the win in that deal is. If you trade Obi Toppin, a lot of people have said that, you know, the Knicks would like Beasley. Okay, so you get Malik Beasley. They send you Obi Toppin in return. Is that a win?
No, I wouldn't do that deal.
Okay, Jared Vanderbilt then. If you send them Jared Vanderbilt and you get Obi Toppin in return.
Yes, I would do that deal.
You would?
Yes, 100%.
Wow.
100%. Because
Why?
Because I know that Obi's a better shooter already right now today than Jared Vanderbilt is. I know that
I
Obi
agree with
Toppin. And the thing is, again, I don't want people to get confused on this. Because this is one of those that people are going to say a week from now, oh, you said Obi's a great player. No, I'm not saying he's a great player. But what I'm saying is that he's got a body that Jared Vanderbilt does not have. He has strength that Jared Vanderbilt does not have. And when you have those two things that you can't teach really, if this guy could just develop even 36%, 35% from three, generally speaking, not just the corner, and then he could play serviceable defense, yeah, I would consider having him on my team for 15 to 20 minutes a night, because then I can bring him in and spell, you know, any number of guys. Like I could easily see bringing him in behind Walker Kessler and Obi Toppin being the guy that plays a bit of a physical game and picks up 2 or 3 fouls in his time each night.
I just need Obi Toppin to shoot 35% from three.
Yeah.
And if he's going to play 20 minutes, get me 6-8 rebounds and play some defense. He is probably the typical 3-and-D guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not a huge fan of that. Vando, they're making similar money. Vando's making 4.6. Toppin's due for 6.8 next year.
Let me ask you this about and this is the other thing on Obi for me as well. It's not like the Knicks are some savant at developing guys.
No, not at all.
You know,
not at all.
Not at all. That's where I say, okay, is it Obi Toppin and he's just not good? Is it Obi Toppin and he just doesn't have a willingness to work on his game? Well, maybe, but maybe also is it that he's in my opinion, one of the worst franchises in the league or one of the worst ownership groups in the league?
Well, there's no doubt about that. But this is a different Knick team. Leon Rose has oh God, I'm going to say it. I can't believe I'm going to say it. Leon Rose has changed the culture in New York with the Knicks. They believe that they're going to win.
Facial recognition.
And hey, look, idiot's still the owner of the team. I totally understand that, right? Like I totally get that. But I'm telling you, there's a couple of things that interest me about the Knicks and the Jazz as we talk NBA trade deadline here on the Monty Show. One of the things that really interests me is the relationship between Danny Ainge and Leon Rose, and how frustrated people are that Leon didn't make the Donnie trade, and Leon should have made the Donovan Mitchell trade, because I think when you look at a guy like Obi Toppin, he plays 12 to 15 minutes a night based on just looking at this year he's averaging 15 minutes a night.
Perfect.
6.6 points a game, shooting 36% from three.
Okay, so off of the stats, right? Because I know I got a ton of stats guys in the comments. Stat guy. So if this guy's playing 15 minutes a night, if I could just get him to 10 points a night, how many rebounds does he have?
3.5.
10 points and 7 boards a night, and those 10 points come off of 3 threes and maybe a free throw?
And by the way, if he's on this team instead of the Knicks right now, he's playing 20 minutes a night. I don't think there's any time. As bad of a rebounding team as this Jazz team is, Obi Toppin to be playing 20 minutes a night. No doubt about it.
Yes.
But all I'm saying is I don't see tremendous up. You're not improving yourself. I don't know, even dramatically is the wrong word. But are you incrementally improving yourself if you swap Vanderbilt for Toppin? You are. I mean, you're a little better, right? But you're not markedly better.
Yeah.
Obi Toppin's not a way better player than Jared Vanderbilt is. I like him because he can hit the three, but Talon Horton-Tucker can shoot the three, and that dude can't get on the floor.
Yeah, that's true. That's also a factor. I mean, the Will Hardy factor is real, you know. And,
it is.
And certainly I'm not saying that, you know, again, I know we talked about Will Hardy a lot yesterday based on their performance, but I think that Will Hardy, you know, definitely has a process and definitely has things that he wants to see out of players, and if he doesn't see him, he's not going to play you. And I think that's a dangerous game to play, especially when
It
you
is.
need to develop guys.
All right, Football 50 coming up in 2 minutes. Cody Strickland, who's a member of the show. Cody Strickland.
What's up, bud?
Where you been, bro? How's the kid doing? Cody Strickland just had a baby. Well, he didn't actually. He doesn't have a birth canal like Mrs. Cody Strickland. Anyway, Cody says, you don't think Ryan has a say in JC? I believe he gave Danny the keys, and Danny said, I will drive this car, but you can't tell me how to drive it. I am told by multiple Jazz sources that Ryan Smith has the final say, and Ryan Smith, but this goes back to Joe Ingles.
Yes.
This goes back to Rudy Gobert.
Yep.
Ryan Smith, if he doesn't want to trade Jordan Clarkson, Jordan's not getting traded. And I think what Ryan Smith, at least from what I'm told by sources inside the Jazz, they put an extremely high asking price on Jordan because they don't want to trade him. Ryan Smith does not want to trade him. That's Ryan's guy. And I get it. I totally understand it. Pudge NYC says, let's make the Obi for Vanderbilt deal. Well, you're a Knick fan. I mean, Pudge, what do you think of Obi? Timothy H. says Pac-12 expansion. Coming up here in 10 minutes, we'll talk Pac-12 expansion. Pudge also says Danny plan was to tank. Laurie went crazy and changed the entire plan. I think there's a real truth in the fact that Laurie allowed them to accelerate the timeline.
100%.
I don't know that they were ever taken.
Development, right? And again, we can't skip over it. I mean, it's no secret that Laurie's been a much better player with Utah than he had been in his prior opportunities, And to me, again, that's why I say, hear me clearly. I'm not saying that Obi is a great player. I'm just simply saying that I think there's developmental opportunity there to take a guy who's on a cheap-ass contract and turn him into something serviceable off the bench that you can lean on, because you should, again, theoretically, Jordan Clarkson shouldn't be on this team after the trade deadline. But with everything we've talked about today and what we've been telling you, there's a decent chance, based on what we're hearing, that he will be.
Yep. James Knight says Danny Ainge sucked the culture out of this franchise by trading a generational superstar. Wow. I think it was, I'm not going to say it was a mistake to trade Don, but it's certainly, you're not wrong. That changed this team. Blue says Jazz are going to get Westbrook. That trade, I would not be surprised if that trade happens. He'll never wear a Jazz uniform, though. Yeah. That'll never happen. To Negra Hermoso Road. Okay. Lakers, please trade everybody today. Davis, Dressbrick, Dalvin Scam, everybody.
Who the f*** is that guy?
Are you already calling Darvin Ham Delvin Scam? Is that what that is a reference to?
It's not even been a full season, and you're already rolling out with Dalvin Scam.
Is that already happening?
Sorry, I thought you said Russell Dressbrick. Come on, dude.
Wow.
Come on now. Come on.
That's impressive. That is impressive. It is not impressive as Football at 50, 10 in the hour, every hour on the Monty Show. Presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Love my guys at Papa Murphy's. I don't know if you guys know this, but every Papa Murphy's is a small business.
Yeah.
These guys are local business owners grinding for theirs and making unbelievable marinara meatballs, baby. Like, I'm telling you, the all-Italian beef marinara meatball at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Okay. Make sure you get it in the Papa Murphy's app. I just like that the kitten. Anyway, the point is, it's not a pop. You're so not Italian. Anyway, the point is, make sure you get the marinara meatball at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more. Aaron Rodgers is not normal. So you know that yesterday was Aaron Rodgers Tuesday.
God.
On PMS.
On PMS.
The Pat McAfee Show.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Aaron Rodgers, Aaron appears on the Pat McAfee Show every Tuesday unless he's in a 4-day dark retreat.
Yeah, it's a real thing, 100%. And that's why I think it's going to be important to get through this week, and then to take my my isolation retreat, and just to be able to contemplate all things my future, and then make a decision that I feel like is is best for me moving forward and in the highest interest of my happiness, and then move forward.
What's isolation retreat? We're just going into a cave?
Are you not going to talk? You're not going to speak? One of those things?
Yeah, is it just you in there? And if you're just in there alone, do you know how many days you're in there? Are you taking an iPad, a book? Are we able to reach you?
What?
Is there good?
It's 4 nights of complete darkness.
What? You go to Alaska?
Not Alaska, no. I've been to Alaska. That's a beautiful state.
Dude,
Bro.
what the? Who is?
Bro. Dude.
Okay, listen. I know we're all namasteing this morning, I'm sure.
Bro.
I'm sorry, did you say 4 days of complete darkness? Isn't that like the Dark Knight? Isn't that like is Bane? Are you hanging out with Bane and he taking you into the hole? Like, what are we doing? Listen, bros. This show is really, I love this show. I love doing the show with Jake, and the team's great, but I need 4 days of total darkness to understand how it impacts my rectum and if I want to keep doing this show. What? You need 4 days of darkness.
Bro, Buddy's ayahuasca stash in this alleged cave that he's going to must be huge.
No. Oh, here's the best part. He said he's not going to use ayahuasca this time
I'm
around.
Sure, Aaron.
No, I don't
sure.
need. Listen, Olivia Munn was the ayahuasca hoe, and she out the picture now. I'm just going into the dark. I wasn't merely born in the dark. I'm not sure what the line is, but I'm going in the dark, bro. And when I come out, I'm going to have a uniform on, and that's the team I'm playing for.
Bro. Buddy is flat out tripping.
You need no phone, no iPad, no books, no sex, no nothing. Just you and water in total darkness for 4 days.
No flashlight?
Like a flashlight? No, he's not bringing a flashlight there.
I said flash, not flash,
Oh,
dude.
I'm sorry.
Grow up.
Can you enunciate better? The point is,
Yeah.
Are you serious with this dude? 4 days in total darkness. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I don't know. And frankly, it's funny to me that it's 4 days. So you need, why not a week?
What? No. Why not 3 days? Does 3 days end you up on the Chicago Bears, and that 4th day is going to get you to, I don't know, the Jets?
The 49ers?
Are you worried that the sixth day is going to put you on, like, I don't know, who's the worst team in the NFL?
The Texans.
Are you going to wind up on the Texans? What, the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, only if you're in the light? In the dark, the 7th day is where you end up playing for the Jehovah Witness? Like, what is the 4 days in total darkness?
Dude. He's crazy. He's out his mind, dude.
Do you got, and here's the thing. I'd like to send my thoughts and prayers to Green Bay on their hostage negotiation. Because that's what this is. That's what this is. Do you understand that Aaron Rodgers saying, hey, bro, 4 days in the dark, bitches. See you later.
I love how everyone hates on LeBron for his arrogance, but this guy's got the arrogance to be like, yeah, well, I need to get off the grid. I need to go into darkness. No iPads, no ayahuasca, no Olivia Munns,
Dude.
no, whatever. Like, it's amazing to me that we don't hate on this guy for his arrogance, but we hate on Bron.
Exactly, McKinley Cutler. He's going into a cage for 4 days, and when he decides the Jets, there's going to be plumes of smoke.
Yes.
Right? Like, and you're going to see a portrait of Robert Saleh or something in the smoke.
Yes.
This is so weird to me. But again, thoughts and prayers to the Green Bay Packers because they're in a hostage negotiation right now. This guy is holding... Bro, your franchise is being held hostage by the dark. This guy is going to make a decision on, do I want to play? Hey, asshole. It's $40 million. You're not walking away from that.
Yeah.
You're coming out and you're going to play. Why not just say, you know what? I'm going to embrace my inner Cal Berkeley, and I'm going to smoke a bunch of doobage, and then I'm going to come back and collect my $40 million check. This guy, whatever. but
it's annoying as hell.
Jeremy Bolton, the mayor of Montytown, says, I had this terrible nightmare and woke up thinking Teddy Wayman shaved his beard. Glad it's not true.
Right? Incredible.
Teddy Wayman shaved his beard. I ain't kidding. James
sinner.
Knight says, were they passing around the Mexican spinach in this interview? It's
so.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing what Aaron Rodgers is doing to the Green Bay Packers. Now, Aaron Rodgers is no marinara meatball.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do meatballs and marinara.
Papa Murphy's does meatballs?
Oh, I think you mean I do the meatballs and marinara?
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Well, we do it with savory ground beef
Covered in tangy marinara. That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
And don't forget the meatballs.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
PapaMurphys.com. Use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. And again, I would tell you, download the Papa Murphy's mobile app. It's super easy to use. You can order it right now and say, okay, I want to pick it up at noon for lunch. I want to pick it up at 5 for dinner. I want to pick it up at 3 for dinner, right? Like you want dinner? Okay, cool. Anytime you want to pick it up, order it when you want. Put the time in there. It'll be sitting on the to-go rack.
Do it.
Here's your order. Traditional crust, barbecue sauce. Dump your toppings on top of that. Marinara meatball. Take and bake chocolate chip cookies. Boom. You're good to go. You're going to be a hero in the hizzy tonight because you went to Papa Murphy's Pizza. PapaMurphysPizza.com or download the app. Jeff Johnson says, do you take on Rodgers in San Francisco or nah, bro? I mean, I would. Now that Tommy's not available. By the way, did you guys hear that Derek Carr is meeting with the New Orleans Saints today? But let's be real clear about something. If you're Derek Carr, why would you sign a contract before February 15th?
Yeah.
Which is the date that the Raiders have to cut him or guarantee his contract for the next 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And if I'm Derek Carr, I'm not doing that. There is no way, shape, or form in my mind, if you're Derek Carr, that you can allow yourself to be traded here.
Yeah.
You have to allow yourself to be cut.
Yep.
Why would you want anything else? I mean, he's owed $32.9 million in 2023, Derek Carr is. $7.5 million in 24. Bro, that's $40.4 million. That's guaranteed if they don't cut you before February 15th.
Yes.
You're not orchestrating a trade. You want to be a free agent. Or they're going to pay you that money to trade you. Because Derek Carr's not playing for the Raiders anymore.
Yeah.
It makes no sense that Derek Carr would go to New Orleans and orchestrate a trade. There's no way. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I truly don't. Blue says Rodgers is going to the Raiders. Why would you go to the Raiders over the Niners?
Yeah.
And again, I could be wrong. Everybody says he's going to the Jets. I don't know. I look at the Raiders and the Niners, and I also look at a team like the Jets. If you're Aaron Rodgers at this point, you have to go somewhere where you're going to win a championship. So is that Tampa? Maybe. Is that the 49ers? Absolutely. If you want to win a championship, and I know he never talks about it. He only talks about winning MVPs and individual awards.
Right.
But at some point, somewhere in his ayahuasca journey in that dark cave,
right,
you have to believe that Aaron Rodgers wants to win a championship. That's the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. And
without a doubt.
Like, I don't know why you wouldn't just go to the best team available to you. And right now, I agree. That's the 49ers. Like, it's pretty straightforward.
Mad Cat says the only player to decide his playing career after being in a cave. Exactly right. Hey, this is real life, you guys. Like, he's going into he's at the Super Bowl this week. And then next week, he'll be in a cave for 4 days and 4 nights in total darkness. So he can decide if he wants to make $40 million next year.
Imagine being in a position in life where where you can just turn everything off and go into a cave. And that's probably your basement in the middle of nowhere.
And I love that Pat McAfee was like, what?
Yeah, dude. It's a joke, dude.
Let me play the video again. If you guys are just tuning in here on the Monty Show, we're talking about our guy. Really, it's your guy.
Right.
Because he ain't my guy.
Right.
We're talking about Jake's favorite player, Aaron Rodgers, telling PMS in AZ, Pat McAfee's show in Arizona, that he's going into total darkness for 4 days to contemplate his future as a football player.
Yeah, it's a real thing, 100%. And that's why I think it's going to be important to get through this week and then, to take my, my isolation retreat and just to be able to contemplate all things my future and then make a decision that I feel like is best for me moving forward and in the highest interest of my happiness and then move forward.
What's isolation retreat? We're just going into a cave?
Are you not going to talk? You're not going to speak? One of those things?
Yeah, is it just you in there? And if you're just in there alone, do you know how many days you're in there? Are you taking an iPad, a book? Are we able to reach you?
What?
Is there good
It's 4 nights of complete darkness.
What? You go to Alaska?
Not Alaska, no. I've been to Alaska. That's a beautiful state.
Where is Aaron right now?
What the hell are you
What is this guy
about?
talking about, dude?
What are you? What? I mean, this is you've got to be kidding. You got to be kidding me. Are you serious with this, bro? Get out of here. Like, there's no way that this homie is turning away from this money, man. There's just his yearly money is this year. His money is $59.5 million. His dead cap is $99 million.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Dude, I thought you said his dead cap, it was $99 million.
His dead cap is $99 million.
I am your father.
Bro, like, how? How, dude? Imagine leveraging an organization that's owned by the people, like Green Bay is, for $99.
You guys, he gets a signing bonus this year of $58.3 million. But listen. I went into this cave, and this little beetle walked up and bit me on the D. I can't play football anymore. I'm going to retire.
If you felt these balls...
No, you're not going to retire, you dick. You are not walking away from $58 million and a signing bonus.
Dude.
What are we doing? Like,
Bro.
I see you, Aaron Rodgers. I know what you're doing. Like, this is who this dude is.
The hell out of here with that.
He's got a 50.
Yeah, I thought you said they owe him $59 million this coming year.
He's got a $99,778,568 million dead cap number. You're not cutting him.
Back is broken.
He's not walking away from $59 million.
I broke my back.
Oh my God. No, I hate LeBron James. I love Aaron Rodgers.
You're throwing our budget a little out of whack.
You guys,
I just have this image in my head.
Oh my God.
I have this image in my head of Aaron A-Raj, AR-12, appearing from the darkness of the cave.
Why do you have to go into total darkness?
With smoke, walking through smoke in the light in his Birkenstocks and, his yoga pants and a t-shirt, and he looks a little tired, and he walks out and he says, "Praise the Lord, I'm taking the money." Like, come on, dude. We know what you're going to do.
I will bet anybody a toe, because I can get a toe. I'll bet. I don't know what I would bet. You can't tell me this dude is retiring. There's no way. Yeah, Jeff, the darkness will speak to him.
Yeah.
There is just no way. And how is somebody calling me from New York City right now? There is just no way.
We going to get another spam call here?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. Hello?
This call is to authorize a payment of $999. We would like to inform
What are you, Aaron Rodgers?
an order placed for Apple iPhone. If you do not authorize this order, press 1 or press 2 to authorize this order.
What are we talking about? What are we doing?
Oh my God, dude.
Anyway.
Whew, okay. Man, Aaron Rodgers burner.
Aaron
Damn.
Rodgers calling me, man. I get so many calls like that. This is Amazon. The Amazon, Amazon doesn't call you, right?
No.
Amazon does not call you.
And you like how it's for an iPhone order from Amazon?
Yeah, because Amazon would be selling iPhones. Anyway, good morning, everybody. The Monty Show is presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, I tell you every day. Go check it out. And trust me, there's two things I talk about a lot when I talk about accidents and injuries. One, if you're sitting here contemplating to yourself, man, do I need a lawyer? Yes, the answer is yes. Anytime you say to your, do I need a lawyer? The answer is yes. No doubt about it.
Yes.
Number two, please don't trust your insurance company. When you get into a car accident, if somebody swerves into your lane, Jake almost got us killed yesterday because he's not allowed to drive, but he drives his Subi. And so we're driving a Subi, and there's this dude in this Hyundai who's just driving like an idiot over here on 35th South, is going crazy. Hey, man, if you get in an accident, please do not trust your insurance company.
Yeah.
Because they're not working for you. They're working for their shareholders. The advocates know how to get what you deserve when you've been in an accident. You didn't deserve to have somebody that was driving distracted on their phone hit you. You didn't deserve to have a guy that was eating that BK Big Fish sandwich hit you because he was driving distracted. No, friends. What you deserve is somebody to fight for you, to make sure that you get back to the best version of yourself. That's why you hire an advocate from The Advocates, theadvocates.com. Chat with an attorney live online 24/7 right now at theadvocates.com, where you never pay a consultation fee.
Facts.
You never pay a retainer. You don't pay the advocates until you win your case at theadvocates.com. All right, let's get into this Big 12, Pac-12, SMU discussion because, again,
Did you warm your arm up before the show?
I should have loosened my shoulder joint. Thus, I would be able to pat myself on the back.
Hey, you start talking shit.
And I understand that Pac-12 people are like, SMU is not a fit for our conference. They're no BYU.
There is no question.
We were telling you back in July that SMU and San Diego State were the two leading contenders to join the Pac-12.
It's on the channel. Go find it.
People were, all of the Utah fans came out of the woodwork and told us how dumb we are. Your mom, your cousin. SMU is a small fan base.
Hell no.
Well, where are you today on the news that George Kliavkoff is flying to Dallas today to meet with SMU? I'm just saying. Listen.
Man, dude.
Listen, trust me, bro, told us back over the summer SMU was one of the Pac-12's top targets.
And he's been really reliable. Trust me, bro, has been a hell of a source.
Trust me, bro, has been amazing. But our sources in the TV industry told us, and how long have we had the conversation about the Pac-12 not being able to sign a TV deal until they expand?
Mm-hmm.
We have told you this for months. We have been roundly criticized for this by Bob Thompson, the former Fox executive, by everybody has said that we don't know what we're talking about, that you sign a TV deal, then you go and expand. And then last week when we told you, hey, Pac-12's maxed out, $25 million per school per year, $250 million, that's all they're going to get because they have zero representation from Palo Alto, the Bay Area, south to the Tijuana border.
Uh-oh.
So they have no way to drive value.
Right.
So they need to expand. So what are they doing? They are trying to expand. They will not, sources tell me, do a TV deal until they have had constructive conversations with SMU and San Diego State.
Hey, guys.
And now we find out who Brett Yormark is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think when you look at this situation with the Pac-12 and you look at this whole thing, if you will, San Diego State, in my opinion, is the end-all, be-all for survival if you are the Pac-12. You have to have San Diego State. I think. I don't know. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that if you're the Pac, like you have to have. You have to, because again, it's a geography conversation. You can't have a conference on the West Coast that doesn't have any representation south of the Bay Area. That's not going to work. And again, we've had this conversation about, these different sponsors and how they look at advertising and where they'd want to spend their money. So, the example we always use is like Toyota, just as an example. Toyota wants to sell cars in Southern California, right? They that's what they do. They're Toyota. So that with that being their goal, they don't care what the label on the football conference is, as long as you have people on the couch watching TV in Southern California who they can market to. So frankly, it doesn't bother them that SC and UCLA have gone to the Big Ten, and now it's going to be Big Ten after dark. They're just going to advertise with the Big Ten. They're not going to advertise with the Pac, right? They don't care, like Jay Hill said, they don't care if your fan base and your alumni is in the Bay Area. If you're Utah, they don't give a damn.
Chris Hill, yeah.
Chris Hill, I said Jay Hill. Chris Hill. Like Toyota and companies on that level don't care where you think your fan base is.
That's right.
They care where their TV viewership actually is. And I know that sounds like kind of a rudimentary concept or some sort of caveman concept,
Caveman concept.
Yeah, look, Aaron Rodgers, it's a caveman concept, right? But the reality is they want to be on TV in Southern California. So the idea that someone would say, well, it's insane that the Pac would want to add San Diego State. What do you mean?
Yeah,
they got to have a school there.
And if you look at what this means for Amazon and ESPN, I think it does mean more money. I think if you were to add SMU, that gives you Dallas-Fort Worth, and if you were able to add, think about being Ford Trucks. Think about the budget of Ford Trucks. If you're the Big 12 right now, you pretty much exclusively own Dallas. I mean, you exclusively own Dallas-Fort Worth. You pretty much exclusively own Houston. You are, it's almost undeniable right now that the state of Texas is pretty much all Big 12. So if you're Ford Trucks, you're gonna advertise with ESPN, you're gonna advertise with Fox, because that's where you're going to get the biggest Big 12 games.
Facts.
And you think about Big 12 basketball. If you're Ford Trucks and you're trying to advertise to your fan base in your market and you want college basketball, are you going to the Pac-12 or are you going to go to the Big 12?
Y'all feel me?
You're going to the Big 12 because you have Texas, Oklahoma, you have the blue-collar working man town is in the Big 12. If you're Toyota, and you know that you have a very different marketplace, and you're in Southern California, are you trying to spend your money with the Big Ten or the Pac-10? Well, if they don't add San Diego State, there's no option to spend money with the Pac-10. You are going to spend your money with the Big Ten because they've got USC and UCLA. And that's the market that I need. I'm going to broadcast on USC and UCLA games in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
This isn't rocket science. It's actually common sense, which is why it's shocking to me that George Kliavkoff has been trying to negotiate a TV deal without Southern California, without Central California. It's mind-numbing to me,
right,
that you are trying to sell Amazon and ESPN on the Pacific Northwest, because that's essentially your footprint at this point. You are Mountain Region up to the Pacific Northwest, and you've got Arizona. That's what you're selling. And the struggle is that Colorado, that Utah, that you think of any of these other schools, that Washington State, that Oregon State, those are not going to bring you $30, $40, $50 million a year per school numbers.
Yeah.
You're not getting $500 million. That's not going to happen. But if you add San Diego State and you add SMU, my guess is you can probably surpass or at least be equal to what the Big 12 got in their TV deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that we have beat this topic into the ground, but I'm going to ask the obvious question. What took you so long, George Kliavkoff, to get your ass to Dallas and meet with SMU? What took so long? Where are you at with San Diego State? Because what I've heard from TV industry sources is that San Diego State has been non-committal to both the Big 12 and the Pac-12. And I think San Diego State is very wisely trying to leverage the Pac-12 to walk in as a full share member. That is what San Diego State is asking for. And I don't know that George Kliavkoff has the balls to pull that off. Because frankly, this conference is all about Oregon and Washington. And my guess is Oregon and Washington want a much larger slice of the pie, and they're not willing to give little old Snapdragon Stadium any of their money. So now you're going to wind up leveraging Washington State and Oregon State and Utah and Colorado and the Arizona schools. But now I got news for you. The Arizona schools have leverage over the conference.
Yeah.
Because Arizona, who is your premier basketball program, has options. They can go and do whatever they want to do. And I think ASU, who I don't believe wants to leave the Pac-12. I think Arizona State wants to be in the Pac-12. But Arizona State has options as well. I can't believe that San Diego State is going to join the Pac-12 unless they become a full share member. I think it will be a very interesting conversation. They're either going to get full share member right out of the gate, or their revenue sharing is going to be much less.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're San Diego State, why would you agree to come in at a quarter of what everybody else is getting? Well, you wouldn't do that.
Right.
SMU needs a major conference. They need the Pac-12. They need the Big 12. San Diego State doesn't need either one of them because they've got the other. It to me is why the Pac-12 has struggled to do business.
Yeah.
And I think they will continue to struggle to do business, in my opinion, because if we're telling the truth here, San Diego State and SMU are good gets for the Pac-12. They are not great gets. They are not, oh my God, we did it. That's not what this is. You're just trying to become equal with the Big 12. You are currently chasing the Big 12.
Yeah. I think that's the reality of the situation.
Yes.
And I think that, it's and I feel like we're seeing this in a couple of places, but it's no longer good enough just to show up. It's no longer good enough just to assume that you can do business the way you've always done it, because that's how you've always done it. Like, that's just not going to get the ball across the line, if you will. And I think that it's just funny to see once again how all this is playing out, because yeah, you're right. We have been talking about, San Diego State and SMU going all the way back to August or July or whatever, last summer. And again, it's not like this is a YouTube channel, not a radio show. You can go and find it on our YouTube channel, us talking about it. So it's not in question that we've spoken on it and been talking about it. And I think that I don't know if maybe this is like a light bulb moment for George Kliavkoff, or like what's happened, or if maybe he's somehow felt some desperation here. But it is, it's a bit comical. It's a bit funny to me that now we're getting going out to Texas. Now we're starting to see, oh, wow, I better start having some conversations with these schools, because we're not going to have a TV deal unless we add these schools. And we only have, 6 months or so to get this ironed out and to get ink to paper and to get it handled. And while 6 months may seem like a long time, it's really not a long time at all. That's, a second in college football time, because of all the stuff you have to put together to get a deal done. So to me, I just can't believe that it's taken this long to realize this. Because again, I have no problem saying I'm not some TV industry expert. I'm not the commissioner of the Pac-12. I'm not the guy who's having all these conversations and is perfectly plugged in and has every bit of information that I'm sure George has. But even with that being the case, it's pretty obvious what you have to do to get a TV deal done here. And it's pretty obvious your TV deal isn't going to stack up to what everyone else's TV deal is, even if you add these two schools. So that's what I'm saying. This isn't some convenient conversation for them. They need to go and do this.
No, I don't think it's convenient at all. I think it's ugly is what it is. All right, let's get your comments in here. Kurt Meyer says, we told you so, Showgram.
Damn right it is.
Damn right it is. Absolutely. Brandon Butler, a member of the program, let the boys take a victory lap. Hey, man, I have no problem taking victory laps. In fact, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who said, if you're not taking victory laps, you're doing it wrong. You either don't have them to take, or you're missing an opportunity. And I think that's exactly right. Jeremy Sevier says Georgie Boy will present his number on the back of an envelope to SMU and San Diego State and screw it up.
Yep.
But that's the guy we're talking about. Do you guys have belief that George Kliavkoff is the guy to lead the Pac-10 out of this abyss? I don't know if he can or cannot. He will, but I don't know that he'll do it well. I've lost a lot of confidence in him because he's a guy that's an operator and should have done a better job for this conference than he's done. And I just don't know what's taken so long.
Yeah.
Why have you not realized sooner that expansion is the only option? It's the only option. Signing a TV deal first is a mistake. And if we learned anything from the Big 12 TV deal, it's that your TV partners are not willing to pay for just anybody to join your conference.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I've heard several times is if they expand, it'll be hand in hand with their TV partners. So you have this cart before the horse thing that just is so awkward for them.
Yeah, well, it's only awkward because they're making it awkward, though. That's the thing. That's the difference. Like, there is no awkwardness with the SEC or the Big 12 or really the ACC because they've handled business. Like,
because their quality of conference is not in question.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like the Pac is just trying to survive here, and I believe that's true. I believe that like, and I know we're getting some comments like, hey, even if they do add these schools, it doesn't drive the price up significantly. No, that's right. That's correct. That's absolutely correct that you're not going to get up to 50 or 60 or some ridiculous number per year. You're just doing, this is a play to survive. I'm telling you guys, you got to get this done and then prove your value so you can renegotiate the next time around and say, hey, yeah, we went through some change, but we can still bring you value. Give us 40 a year. Give us 50 a year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to watch, certainly. I don't think this is any savior. I really don't. San Diego State, good morning to you. Welcome right on time. Kurt Myers says, what the hell? The Pac has a non-religion conference. They hate money.
I guess.
SMU's, they're the Methodists.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Them damn Methodists. And again, Eric says SMU and San Diego State isn't going to drive an offer up another $50 million a year. No, it's not. Like that to me is crazy. Mapes, good morning, says hopefully SMU demands the same as San Diego State. Gorgeous George has no leverage.
Facts.
We'll see. Mad Cat says, will Kliavkoff pull the trigger on San Diego State? Oh, I think he would have already if he could have. I mean, that to me, that makes all the sense in the world. Brandon Butler says Oregon and Washington are never going to allow a full share to San Diego State. Then I don't know why San Diego State would move. Why would you do that?
Well, I think that, for San Diego State, I do think that getting into a P5, really can help you in a lot of different ways, not just on a football field. But I think that the problem is, and I don't know the exact number that they get now, but I'm pretty sure it's like in the teens or whatever for their distribution. Getting up to a even 20 a year would be an improvement for them.
Yeah, you're doubling your money essentially from the mountain. But what I think is interesting is what Tim Bruckmiller said. The Cal system won't let San Diego State join the Big 12. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I think what we learned from the Board of Regents is money talks and Georgia's BS walks, right? Back of the envelope be damned. They let UCLA walk.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens, certainly. I don't know. I think it's really interesting that San Diego State now has become the savior of the Pac-12. It's crazy.
Well, it's the only path forward. See, that's the other problem. It's the only path forward for the Pac. It's not like you've got like 3 or 4 routes here. You've got one route because, again, this is a geography conversation. This isn't a caliber of football, caliber of education. Like, yeah, those are factors, but the reality is you're not looking to add New York University or Boston University.
Well, Fresno State.
You're not looking to add them.
If you look at SMU versus Fresno State, the obvious is you want Dallas. You want that Metroplex area for advertisers. And again, I think people keep trying to talk about, well, research institution. Dude, this is a money play.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. You're looking at a situation where you're bringing in SMU because of where they're geographically located. You're bringing in San Diego State because where they're geographically located. And I think it helps Cal a lot. It helps Stanford a lot for travel partners. And because, again, I think you need to add teams that don't cost you a ton of money.
Yeah.
This is the West Virginia and the Big 12 conversation. You need to add teams that don't cost you a ton of money. This is why it makes a lot of sense to add Oregon and Washington to the Big 10. Because you've got this Western enclave of USC and UCLA now. You need to find some dance partners for them. And that's why I think it makes a lot of sense for Oregon and Washington to get to the Big 10. Hasn't happened. Probably won't anytime soon.
Yeah.
But San Diego State absolutely brings some stability to the Pac-10, in my opinion. I think it makes a big difference. Tyler P. says you can only take a victory lap when you've had a victory. Well, we've had several in the last couple of weeks, thankfully.
Yeah.
So, and maybe we'll get more tomorrow. Who knows? I'm telling you, if they trade Jordan Clarkson for a first-round pick, we'll probably take a victory lap on that.
Yeah.
But it ain't rocket science that they're going to trade Malik Beasley and Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
Or Mike Conley.
Yeah.
You trade Jordan Clarkson for a first-round pick, because, again, we're the only ones that reported they have a first-round pick sitting on the table for Jordan Clarkson. So we'll see where they go on that. Mapes says, hopefully SMU demands the same. I think I read that one already. Fat Jesus Kliavkoff has been in a darkness retreat for 9 months looking for clarity on expansion.
Maybe.
And he came out wearing an SMU mask.
Maybe he should drink some ayahuasca and then he'd operate a little better.
Know, how do you get away with using drugs in the off season? If you're
cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
That is cute. 513 Bearcat says SMU needs to demand equal pay from the Pac-12 or else. Well, there's some people who
I don't disagree, dude. You have the leverage. The Pac doesn't have the leverage here.
Well, as you hit the like button here on the Monty Show.
The Monty Show.
Contemplate this while you hit the like button. Who's got leverage in these situations? Because if George Kliavkoff is ringing my phone and saying, hey, it's Kliavkoff, need some help here.
Hey, guys.
I'm asking for the moon. I'm asking for the moon. Here on Flat Earth, I'm asking for the moon. Right? Like I am all in on, hey, got to make me a full share member.
I want it.
We've got Snapdragon Stadium full share member. And if he says no, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm good where I'm at. Thanks.
Yep.
Because it's a pain in the ass to move conferences, frankly. I mean, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Scheduling alone, it's a lot of work. I want a full share if I'm San Diego State because that's the only path to survivability.
Yep.
In my opinion, I'd be on that in my mind. H.E. Pennypacker.
What's up?
Pac knows how to spend money, not make money. Well, that's very true.
Excellent point.
No doubt about that. James Knight says merch update. Just waiting on Amazon, bro.
Quite literally.
Tucker Brady says, still don't understand why the Utes seem to want to stick around on this sinking ship. The signs are there. The Pac, insert a number here, is dying. Why go down with them? But you're not wrong. And what I think is so interesting is I think it's pride, man. I think it's the unwillingness to say, well, you know, the Pac-12 was not what we thought it was going to be. We're going to move on. Because if you saw right now today said, yeah, I'd like to, hey, Mr. Yormark, it's Kyle Whittingham. I'd like to join your conference. Yormark would say, well, you know, I need to talk to your AD because he said you're not leaving. Right? But if you...
What you want me to say to them?
Anyway, if Utah called the Big 12 and said, hey, we're in, they would shoot a fax over today.
Yeah.
Like, Utah is a valuable program. Eric and Raleigh says there's no saving the Pac-10.
Nah.
Because Utah isn't wanted by either the P2 conferences, the SEC, or the big 29,484. Well, you're not wrong about that. I know you're not wrong about that. Pollyann, what's up, Pollyann in the Bay Area? Says, I know I am early, but happy birthday early. Well, thank you. My birthday is February 19th in 11 days.
Yeah, I know what time it is.
In 11 days.
Yes.
Super stoked. We leave for Tahoe on Friday.
Yes.
We will be off next Wednesday for a travel day. Cannot wait. Polly, good to see you. 801 West Valley, gonna let research be their demise. Could be.
Dude, and I'm so tired of this.
So tired.
Dude, I'm tired of we're a research institution. Okay, I get it. You're good at researching stuff. I understand. You have a strong educational situation. I'm with it. I get it. I'm down. But what good is the educational portion if you don't have revenue? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, and the thing that I don't understand is how you don't have a Yoder smoker, which was named the best barbecue equipment by People Magazine. You can
Yes.
You can get that at Barbecue Pit Stop, bbqpitstop.com. Logan, Layton, Lehigh, the Cheesy. Salt Lake City and Murray on State Street. Yeah, how about that? Yoder named the best pellet smoker I believe it was by People Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Barbecue Pit Stop, because they carry the best barbecue equipment. Of course, they have a full selection of Yoder smokers. Of course, they have my personal favorite, which, as we know, of course, is the Ironwood 885. They have a full line of Traeger smokers at Barbecue Pit Stop. But again, what did I have for lunch yesterday? Went to Harmon's, got all drums, because on this show, you know that as men with hair on our chests, which means you're out. But you're actually a hairy.
Don't play intramurals, brother.
This dude's got more hair than your shower drain. Anyway, The point is, as men, we went to Harmon's and got drums, had some ranch dressing, had some drumettes with asado seasoning on it, threw them down on the Traeger, had the best wings ever. Telling you, man, it ain't rocket science.
Yeah.
When you go to Barbecue Pit Stop, you're getting the best equipment. You're getting the best guys because all of their staff are experts. They love the smoking game. And they can answer questions like, hey, can I do asado wings? How long do I need to let the seasoning sit on the wing before I make it? Is that important? Hey, how long do I need to let my brisket rest before I slice it?
Yes.
All those little questions. And everybody's like, oh, smoking's not hard. Smoking's so hard. No, it's not. It's easy. Plug in the Traeger smoker, put the pellets in the hopper, and hit ignite. You are now a professional smoker. That's what I'm saying. It's super easy. And when you have the help of the experts at Barbecue Pit Stop, you can't go wrong.
Boom.
bbqpitstop.com. And yes, we only do drums on this show. If you eat flats, hit the like button. But if you eat drums, hit the like button.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's all good. Tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show. Robert Perez says, honestly, I'm disappointed that Fresno State was skipped over.
Well, why?
But I think that if you are the Pac-10, SMU brings you far more value. Right? Because I think you're rubber stamping San Diego State.
Yes.
Like, done. I think SMU brings you more value than Fresno State.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. Robert Perez says, throw lime on them wings with the asado seasoning. So good.
By the way, if you remember, you would be getting videos of us smoking things, by the way. Just pointing that out. I mean, we've put videos in before.
If you are not a member of the program. It's quite easy to become a member of the program. Because all you have to do is, it's $9.99 a month.
Yes.
I'm not even going to talk about the merch or the discounts or the contests or any of that. What you're getting is the Instagram chat group.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you're getting access to Brant Keithy from Utah and Max Tooley from BYU on March 10th here at the Maverick Center. No,
never mind that.
Never mind that.
That doesn't even matter.
What you're getting is a community of dudes that just is fantastic.
Yes.
Because all of our guys on this show, we talk every day. Even though James Knight says we're never in the group, we're in the group every day.
Better send those refunds.
You know, so all you have to do is click the link that I just dropped in the chat. You hit join. It's $9.99 a month. Cancel anytime. We'll put you into the Instagram group, but you get exclusive information first. So when we hear about the Pac-12 TV deal or when we hear about Jazz trades,
yes,
we usually put those in our group, in our exclusive member groups first, and then we tweet them out or then we talk about them on the show. Click the link, join the group. It's awesome. It is. I enjoy it. All right. Terry 10Ek. TT. If they're a research institution, they should research how bad the conference is.
I mean, Terry, you make a great point. I mean, that seems pretty straightforward.
I love that. Kurt Meyer says Monty's winging it.
See what he did there? So we're talking about wings, and he said we're winging it, and it just kind of works together.
We're winging it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Jack Rumsey says Jordan Clarkson is everybody's favorite, though. He is.
Yeah, well.
We'll get back to the Utah Jazz coming up here at 8 o'clock on the program. No doubt about that. Robert Perez says, any chance the Pac goes beyond 12, perhaps 14 or 16? I don't see that now. I think in the future that could absolutely be. But the problem is this TV contract is hanging over their head like a 1,000-pound anvil.
Yeah.
I mean, you have got to find a way to get this done.
Yes.
You got to find a way to get this done. There's no doubt about that. Brother says BBQ Pit Stop and join the member. Fadeaway shot? 100%. Okay. See what he combined.
Right.
Barbecue pit stop and join the member on the program. Jeremy Bolton says Pac-12 should research Dax's girlfriend and Luca's mom. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, obviously.
Jeremy Bolton also says he'll be the commissioner. Tanner Plummer in this morning and says, is Dax still dating Zach's ex? I believe he is. Dax Milne is still dating his ex.
Okay.
I mean, it is so interesting to me. Do you guys believe in, is the word karma? Is what's happening in the Pac-12 right now karma? Because of the arrogance and the, I honestly think that BYU karma is coming back to get the Pac-12. Because all of this nonsense of BYU's not a fit. They're not a research institution. They don't have any magnetometers over there.
Little brother.
And I'm telling you, if you guys just had one microscope on campus, we could add you, but you don't.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of stupidity that we get when it comes to BYU joining the Pac-10.
Yeah.
There is no doubt now that you know that you made a mistake not adding BYU. But why won't you say that? Why is it that the Pac-12 and its members won't say, you know what? Yep, we made a mistake excluding BYU from joining the conference. Why is that? Why is that so hard to say?
We did what we did.
It's amazing that you won't just open up and say that.
Well, I think it's what you were talking about before. It's a pride thing. I mean, the Pac has always been a conference that has been,
sure.
And again, even before the USC UCLA thing even happened, even before that was even on the radar, even before that was even a conversation, we were just talking about the Pac-12 as it was currently constituted. I mean, the arrogance and the nose flipping, if you will, and the
yeah.
Hey, we're better than you, and we're the conference of champions. Like you all know. I mean, you all are familiar with it. I'm preaching to the choir here. Feels like, but we all are familiar with the arrogance of the Pac, and I think that. Yeah, I mean, if you want to call it karma, if you want to call it the universe, slapping you in the face for being an idiot, like whatever you want to call it, yeah, it's coming back around. And I think that, you cannot be somebody, whether we're talking about the Pac or just in life, that's like, oh, well, yeah, I'd never, I would never even look at that because that's its name or that's like, it doesn't work that way.
It's just so short-sighted.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so short-sighted.
I mean, to have no feel or no, presence about the fact that you're not the SEC and frankly, right now, you're not the Big 12.
No, Jake, they're the Conference of Champions.
And I love how when they say that, they're like, we have George Kliavkoff gave a speech once, you can find it on YouTube, where he talks about that they're the Conference of Champions. And he goes on this thing about how, like quite literally, I think he was referencing canoeing and badminton and softball, and we have all these champions across all of our collegiate sports. And you know what rang true for me in that speech? Hey, that's cool. I love that. That's awesome.
Jake, they're champions of table tennis.
By the way, did table tennis make you $1 bazillion last year?
The math club has won back-to-back national collegiate mathematics equational quadratic championships.
Look, I know you're the Salt Lake City Checkmaters, but you didn't make a lot of money last year.
And listen, the field hockey teams in the Pac-10, I mean, their record out of conference is unbelievable. And this doesn't even begin to explain that pickleball is all about the Pac-10. We are the conference of pickles and balls. That's who we are. That feels like what this conference is.
Yes.
And Bill Walton's a national treasure.
I don't need Buddy on ESPN, riding in a boat on the Tempe Canal, shirtless, talking about the conference.
Tempe Town Lake.
Dude, come on, bro. Like, be better.
This conference should be superior. And it's not. And it's remarkable to me. Kurt Myers says you can't add white salamanders to the Pac. Well, listen, the salamander derbies I'll stop. It pisses Tanner Plummer
they're
off
the
whenever.
conference
Wait,
of-
we can't bring up white salamanders. Tanner's on the train and he
well,
gets
I wasn't
upset.
going to bring up salamanders.
I'm
I
not
was-
the one who brought it up here. Me.
I was going to talk about iguanas. That's different.
That's not, iguanas are not salamanders.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
It's a different thing. Tanner Plummer says, yeah, I believe karma is real. With that being said, BYU has been really arrogant themselves. Karma definitely came back around this past football season.
Okay, Tanner, I love you, bro.
Do you say anything nice about the teams you root for? Well, Real Salt Lake. Well, I mean, their field has nice grass. No, actually, it's got a bunch of crabgrass.
Don't be rude.
I mean, the Arena Football League's coming back. Like, Tanner, do you ever have anything good to say about your teams? What's going to happen when the Eagles beat the Chiefs on Sunday in the Super Bowl?
That's out of the window.
You kidding me? Jeremy Bolton says, because the Pac-12 is stupid, that's why.
Well.
Stupid. Oh, look at that, Brent Burnett. I'm surprised you're not talking about Jordan Clarkson getting $80 million. Brent Burnett says, BYU was a real get, and the Pac had their chance. Too late.
Facts.
And my Monty fan, because they are an exclusive club, and BYU didn't fit their cookie-cutter admissions criteria. Kiss the ring, boys. Yeah, I think that's not far off.
Wow.
You know, Steven Snook, Pac leverage, potential media partner? No. San Diego State, SMU? No. Current members, maybe a little less than half. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you've got to add San Diego State.
Yes.
You have to.
Yes.
There's no doubt. I mean, Tim Bruckmiller says SMU stands for Southern Methodist University. This is a religious institution. Wait, are you sure that's what SMU stands for? Are you
Get
sure?
your facts straight.
They're the Methodists.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
It doesn't stand for Southern Massachusetts University?
I
or,
thought it was the Mennonites. Southern Mennonites.
Got it.
Thank you.
See, I didn't. Damn.
Thank you. No, anyway. We'll see. Eric and Raleigh says, didn't BYU reject the Pac because they refused to play on Sundays? That's what they'll tell you. You know. 801 West Valley says, let me know if you need help scraping off those Pac-12 stickers. Hey, man, can we get that billboard? This is Pac-10. It says 12. You guys got a Sharpie? We can just make a 0 up there.
This is take place here.
This is Pac-10 country, the home of the Mennonites. Can we just add Mennonites at the bottom?
Know your role and shut your mouth.
The Southern Mennonite University is coming into the program. I'll stop. Let's see. Forward-thinking trucker says SMU is a school of learned doctors.
Well.
And lawyers, too. Fat Jesus says, off for a travel day. Why can't you broadcast while driving like carpool karaoke? You're no James Corden.
Well.
That's very true. That's very, very true. Very true. Couple of more. Brother says, Jake and Monty, you know exactly how he feels. So, you know. Giddy dropping dimes.
Okay. Who changed their name? Because you're a member, and that definitely was not your name. Trust me, I know that list.
Giddy dropping dimes says, can we see Tanner's video again? I hear it was epic. It was pretty good. Tanner said, like I said in the group chat, I don't mind you making white salamander jokes. I made too big a deal about it. Tanner's like, do you guys understand that the LDS community doesn't appreciate your white salamander jokes, bro? It's like, dude, the white salamander, do you know? And he's like, do you know the story? Do you know the story of the white salamander with a cock? Like, that's no chicken, sir. That's a salamander. I love you, Tanner.
Bro.
What?
Dude.
I'm just,
the salamander stuff is so funny.
Robert Perez, final comment on this, says, academic smack talk and playing a football famous for intelligence is ironic. Do half of the football player qualify, if not for sports? Reports say that networks need more members and content.
Yeah.
Just saying. Hey, how about we add that Monty Show to the Mennonites?
The Monty Show.
From what I understand, they know how to comb a white salamander's hair.
He's just a hack.
You know. Do salamanders have hair?
I don't think so.
Let me ask Siri real quick. Let's see.
Yeah, just ask Siri real quick.
Let's see. Hey, Siri. Do salamanders have hair?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia. Most species have stiff, pointed hairs or spines that presumably serve.
Okay. I think that qualifies as a yes. That qualifies as a yes. So, you know.
What should we ask? Maybe that's a new, do we like a new segment where we ask Siri different things? Hey, Siri.
Okay. Hey, Siri.
Hello.
Can you keep white salamanders as pets?
Oh, what are you talking about, man?
I found this on the web.
Okay. You're not going to read it for me?
That's not a definitive yes or no.
Hey, Siri. Are you sexy?
I don't have an answer for that.
So my wife hates, I'll say like heinous sexual things to Alexa. My wife hates it. I'll be like, hey, Alexa, what's your cup size? And my wife will be, really?
Yeah, that's stupid.
Go do the dishes, fat ass. Like she hates when I talk to Alexa. She hates it.
Do you guys ever talk to your Alexa or your Siri like that?
I wonder if Aaron Rodgers will bring Alexa into the cave. That would be awesome. You know, I don't know. Let's see. Main event says, hey, Tanner, Chiefs will win by 14.
Well,
no, they won't. Jason said, dang, you guys are old. Chat GPT is the new personal assistant.
Oh, please, dude. It's an HTML code on a website.
Stop. Jeremy says, also, I just turned on ESPN. Anyone know if LeCarron broke the scoring record? Seriously. All right, before football at 50 and meatballs, Tanner says spinal. Back is broken.
Man, why you want to play those drops?
Spinal. Back is broken.
Ayo.
I broke my back.
Brother says, Monty, do you like Siri? Do you let your wife get mad? She don't get mad, man. Mrs. Monty, though, you know, she's no fun. We never go out to dinner. She doesn't
Having fun is the name of the game.
Like, I love Indian food. She never wants to go and get Indian food.
Okay, you don't like Indian food.
What?
I know that for a fact.
I like pita bread.
Keep it real.
Holla. What do you mean?
Pita bread.
My wife is a huge fan of Indian food. And I don't hate... I just don't eat hummus for that exact reason. I think it greases the skids a little bit. Hummus will do that to you.
How about that?
You know.
Bro.
Hummus, well,
dude.
You know, we should go to football at 50.
Yeah.
Football at 50, 10 of the hour, every hour.
Wow.
On the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Hey, man, I'm telling you, barbecue sauce on pizza. In the comments, are you a barbecue sauce or a red sauce fan on pizza? Make sure when you get your pizza at Papa Murphy's, you use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more. Derek Carr is meeting with the Nolans Saints today in Nolans. And La Ciena. Where are you guys at on Derek Carr? I think Derek Carr's a better quarterback than he's getting credit for. I'm not personally paying him that guaranteed money. I'd cut him if I were the Raiders.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to trade him. No, everybody knows you got to pay him. So I would cut him, but if I'm Derek Carr, I don't think he has anything to hold his head down about his time with the Raiders. I think he's going to go on and have a productive stint with somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Derek Carr is one of those guys that, you know, a lot of people want to say is a good quarterback, but not a great quarterback. But I think people aren't sure why he's not great. Is that because it was Oakland or was that because it's Derek Carr? And I think that this next opportunity will really define his legacy. If he's able to go to a program, a team, an organization that puts talent around him and he thrives and succeeds, and let's say that Derek Carr somehow finds a way to make a Super Bowl appearance, let's say, I think that'll kind of right the ship on whether he sucked or not in Oakland. It'll be, hey, no, it was Oakland, it wasn't Derek Carr, and they wasted several years of his career.
Derek Carr or Trevor Lawrence?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr or Daniel Jones?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr or Tua Tagovailoa?
Definitely Derek Carr.
Derek Carr or Geno Smith?
I gotta go Derek Carr, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Derek Carr or Jared Goff? Jared Goff. He said, I mean, you want to talk about white salamanders. Jared Goff, that's his nickname, bro.
Been to a Super Bowl.
Oh, please.
Damn near carried the Lions in the playoffs.
The Rams defense have been to a Super Bowl. He almost took the Rams to that. No, he didn't. You don't almost take. Oh, well, the Lions got hosed. Well, you also probably should have won other games.
It's not my fault the officials didn't throw the flag on Roby Coleman, okay?
Look, dude. No, I'm not playing your stupid Jared Goff game. I'm not doing that. You are not going to suck me in.
Whoa.
Derek.
Whoa. This
Derek
is a
Goff.
family show.
Jared Carr. Derek Goff. Tommy.
Nobody's sucking in anything.
Okay, wow. Take it easy. Let's see. Jeremy Bolton, the mayor of Monty Town, or excuse me, NY Monty fan says, Derek Carr is no Charlie Batch, but he'll do. Jeremy Bolton says, oops, Derek Carr or Tyler Huntley.
Oh, please.
I'm taking Derek Carr over that Pro Bowler, Tyler Huntley.
Well, he just got in off of reserves.
You know. Greg Romano says, Derek Carr or David Carr. Bullet.
I like how as soon as we start talking about this, the comment section just goes right to, he's no blank, but he'll do.
Derek Carr or Justin Fields?
Derek Carr. Don't be an idiot. Don't be disrespectful.
Derek Carr or Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers in his cave.
Aaron Rodgers on ayahuasca or Derek Carr sober?
I think I'd have to go with Aaron Rodgers just because he's on ayahuasca live in a game.
See, look at that. Derek Carr or ayahuasca cave boy? I would give almost anything to see Aaron Rodgers get lit on ayahuasca and try to play in the NFL. Let's see. Visible Angel says, dude, you have a new subscriber because you're not a hater. It's really true what you're saying. Too many crazy people. That's what I'm talking about. Make sure you go ahead and join the membership as well.
Get in the membership, man.
Visible. Appreciate you being here, bud. Giddy dropping dimes. Derek Carr or Alex Caruso? Alex Caruso?
Duh. Obviously, the headband alone.
Hello. Okay. Who bring Derek Carr in here? Police help me. Exactly right. Tanner Plummer. Derek Carr is no McNabb season, but he'll do.
Yeah.
See what he did?
Yeah, I see what he did there.
Ian says, wow, Jake is way higher on Derek Carr than anyone else on Earth.
Well, the problem is the Earth is flat, so I can't really be higher than anyone else.
Right, it's flat earther.
It's flat.
Kyrie for president.
Yeah.
Let's see. MI Monty fan, who's a member, says Captain Caveman Rodgers, ayahuasca. Exactly right. Speaking of A-Raj, how about this whole thing on the Pat McAfee program?
PMS.
PMS, please.
Oh, it's Aaron Rodgers Tuesday.
Yeah, ayahuasca, bro. Here's Aaron Rodgers talking to Pat McAfee yesterday about going into a cave for 4 days.
Yeah, it's a real thing, 100%. And that's why I think it's going to be important to get through this week and then, to take my, my isolation retreat and just to be able to contemplate all things my future and then make a decision that I feel like is best for me moving forward and in the highest interest of my happiness and then move forward.
What's isolation retreat? We're just going into a cave?
Are you not going to talk? You're not going to speak? One of those things?
Yeah, is it just you in there? And if you're just in there alone, do you know how many days you're in there? Are you taking an iPad, a book? Are we able to reach you?
What?
Is there good
It's 4 nights of complete darkness.
What? You going to Alaska?
Not Alaska, no. I've been to Alaska. That's a beautiful state.
Bro, first of all, Pat McAfee being like, hey, man, what? I'm sorry, can we back up a little bit? Hey, bro, what is an isolation retreat? And he's like, 4 nights of darkness? Where am I going to watch porn and drink PBR? Isn't that why Pat McAfee's a stud?
Yeah.
Because he's just every dude. He's every dude. Aaron Rodgers. I'm telling you, the only way to describe Aaron Rodgers is hostage taker.
Yes.
He is holding the Green Bay Packers hostage so he can go drink some ayahuasca tea and smoke some hippie lettuce in a cave in complete darkness so he doesn't have to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
This is the craziest thing I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He, summer after summer after summer. I'm going to retire. You're not, Dick. They owe you $59 million and you're not walking away from that.
Yep.
Like, what if you're the Green Bay Packers, what do you do with this guy?
Yeah, I mean, you have to deal with it. You have to figure out if you can trade him, if someone, it's complex to say the least. I mean, I think the minimum is trying to find a dance partner on him, and trying to see if you can move him or whatever. My biggest thing with Aaron Rodgers is it's not like the guy's a 5-time Super Bowl winner. It's not like this guy is auto bid you into the Super Bowl. I mean, this is somebody who is struggling to make the playoffs. This is somebody who is struggling simply to win his conference.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, I hate the Packers. I'm not a Packer guy, but there's no denying the Packers are an iconic franchise in the NFL, and Aaron Rodgers isn't doing justice to that anymore.
Jason gives us a $4.99 tip and says, "Flat Earthers unite."
There we go.
We don't really believe the Earth is flat. Giddy Drops Dime says, "Can we switch to the elephant in the room?" Jake's shirt. Yeah, dude, this is 2 days in a row without a black shirt on. You're losing the force. Geoff says, "Carr to the Niners. I'll take anyone over Trey. God, please help me." Wow. Let's see. Kyler McIntosh says, "Kyler Murray, though, getting them gains." I mean, it's hard to deny.
This is 2 days in a row of Kyler Murray gains, dude.
I mean, look at Kyler Murray squatting here. He's just had ACL surgery.
I mean, this little guy is really getting it going.
I mean, look at him getting after it. That is if you've ever seen an NFL quarterback, this is not one. But look at that face.
Look at the intensity.
Look at that face, Kyler. Whoever did this, I love you. The fact that this was on Insta Snapface Twitter and it said exclusive tape Kyler Murray working out, I love you. I love you. And I appreciate you in all ways.
Yeah.
I mean, it is remarkable to me that somebody did that. Papa Murphy's Pizza, make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to get your Heart Baker Pizza.
When you get a Heart Baker Pizza from Papa Murphy's, it's like you're our Valentine. Because we're giving you our heart, our fresh pepperoni and cheese-covered heart to take and bake however and whenever you'd like. But then you give our heart away? So does that make us your Valentine? Wow, love is hard. Thank goodness we're pizza. So whether you need a Valentine or need to be one, get what you need this Valentine's Day with a Heart Baker Pizza from Papa Murphy's.
Papa Murphy's Pizza presents Football at 50, 10 in the hour. Every hour, make sure you use the promo code Monty25. And who knows, maybe like Teddy Wayman, who, by the way, legit shaved his beard last night.
Which I just don't understand. I mean, I don't understand what the strategy was, Teddy.
And listen, if you don't know Teddy Wayman, you're not living. B, he had a face full of fire crotch that was unreal.
Yes.
And he shaved his beard. I don't get it. I don't get it. Kay Nurin says, is Rodgers brain damaged? Should the Jets want him? They probably should. Ken Williams, who's a member of the program. Good morning, Ken. Hope the cattle are good. Adam Terry Hawker. I still hold a grudge for the Pack keeping my Cougs out. You probably should.
But I think if you're that BYU fan, aren't you also saying, though, and I don't blame you for feeling that way, but aren't you also saying it was a blessing in disguise? Because now we're in the Big 12, which is in a way better position in modern day and current times. And yeah, we're probably going to get our ass beat this first year, but if we can recruit and we can build on our program, we're going to be in a much better position. So that's why I say I get the vitriol, but at the same time, it was a blessing in disguise.
Yep, totally agree. The Monty Show presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Hello to all of our listeners in Phoenix. We had a huge day. This show, frankly, is killing it right now. I mean, we have so many new listeners to the show. We welcome all of you. Thanks for being here. I know that Los Angeles, you're massive on this program right now. Vegas, you're massive on the program. Phoenix, Arizona, you're massive on the program. Get to theadvocates.com. The newest advocates office, Phoenix, Arizona, theadvocates.com for the best injury attorneys in the business. You know that people are going to get crazy for the Phoenix Open this weekend. If somebody hits you because they're not being a responsible driver, if you're driving your motorcycle or your bicycle and somebody knocks you off, hey, you did not deserve that. You deserve to be compensated for that. Get to The Advocates, theadvocates.com, where they never charge you a consultation fee. They never ask you for a retainer. You do not pay The Advocates until they win your case. And that's important because it allows you to focus on getting healthy. It allows you to get back to work, to figure out, hey, how am I going to afford to buy a new car? Hey, how am I going to defer? God forbid you're hurt. How am I going to defer my medical bills? The Advocates are going to handle all that for you at theadvocates.com. Good morning, friends. Good to see you at 8 o'clock in the Mountain Time Zone. Teddy Wayman explaining why he chopped off the red fire face. The beard was getting stagnant, so it had to come off. It'll be back, though.
Yeah.
So I have never had like the ability as a full-grown adult male to grow a beard of such awesome proportion as Teddy Wayman.
Facial recognition.
Yeah, I have sporadic, growth and stuff. When you get a long beard, does it stop growing at some point?
I would think, but I don't know. Probably not, actually.
Okay. Teddy needed a change.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. Tyler P. says shaving a full beard is a tell sign you got a screw loose. Teddy, do you have a screw loose? I mean, you're a contractor. You're a tile guy.
Teddy, did your rubber ducky grow a beard yet for you?
Use that little grout spreader thing and like screw the screw back in. A trough or what?
Please.
A hoe?
Okay, real quick. So the Super Bowl's in Phoenix this year.
Yes.
Right. And we get a lot of new listeners on the program now, right? Because the program's blowing up. For all you long times, you used to know that we worked at a little company called Yelp back in the day.
Yes.
Watching First Take on ESPN right here, that's on the TV now, be on Main Street in Old Town Scottsdale has serious memories coming back to me. Walking by every day, knowing that the office is right down there. Like it's a crazy little experience to be seeing them sitting there with all these people behind them, and like it's crazy. Does that ever happen to you guys where like you move from somewhere and then it's on TV again? You're like, oh, look at that little shop.
Dude,
and
we've
this
been
and
there.
that.
We ate in there.
Yeah, like it's a crazy experience, bro.
Yeah, we'll see. Giddy dropping dimes says, does Tyler P. realize Teddy can crush him into fine dust? I don't believe that he does.
Dust up.
I don't believe that he does. LeBron James is the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. And I'm curious where you guys come down on this, because there's been quite a bit of hate on LeBron right now. And I believe that LeBron is one of the best scorers in the history of the NBA. I don't believe that makes him the best player in the history of the NBA. But isn't today the one day, if you were going to do it, that you would show some love and respect to LeBron?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that where you would? That's what this feel. And yet, no. That's what it feels like we should be doing.
Right.
Yet I feel like we've sat here this morning in talking about LeBron, and we've had to defend him, and I just don't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the difficult part of the LeBron discussion is that he's not a natural, beautiful scorer. It's not like it's, oh man, look at that jumper. It's just the way it comes out of his hand, the shooting form, the footwork to get to that spot. Like yes, he's got elite footwork. Yes, his shooting mechanics are good enough where he can shoot from three very consistently. Like, yes, he's worked on all this stuff. But like when I think about beautiful, mid-range players, I think about DeMar DeRozan. I think about Kevin Durant, Kobe, Michael. These guys that are just, they just make it look easy. They make it look effortless, and that I think is the essence of why people hate on LeBron. Because the reality is, LeBron is crossing this record not because he's the best scorer ever, right? When it comes to night in, night out on the floor, he's crossing it because he's played for such a long time, and he deserves that credit. He's played long enough that he's given himself the opportunity to cross a standard, a boundary, a benchmark. And I don't understand why people won't just say that. Hey, this guy has been playing for 20 years or whatever it's been. Kobe didn't play that long or whatever, or Michael or this guy or that guy. Like, these guys didn't play that long. They didn't play enough seasons to get to 38,000 points and some change, So I don't understand why the hate. And I totally respect, the LeBron hater guy who's like, oh, well, this reason and BLM and the shop and all this stuff off the floor, and I hate the guy and yada, 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 right? Like, I respect that opinion, but what I don't respect is not being able to say, hey, I feel this way, but today, I will give LeBron some credit. You crossed this record. You made those shots. You did what you had to do. And you've been basically the most durable player of your generation.
Yeah, I think LeBron deserves all the credit today because what he's done, I think this is one of the most unbreakable records ever. Maybe Emmitt Smith's rushing record, maybe, I don't know. This is one of the crown jewels in professional sports achievement.
Yeah.
And I think there's nothing wrong with saying that. And it drives me crazy when we talk about individual performances. Like with the Tom Brady retirement last week. Now this LeBron discussion. We don't need to tear everybody down. Yeah, exactly. We don't need to tear everybody down. That's the thing. Jeremy Bolton says, yeah, it's ESPN love affair with him for the past 15 years. Well, I mean, he's a huge draw.
But what would you expect? This is I'm seriously asking this. So I understand, and I'm with you, Jeremy, that ESPN has fawned over LeBron. I agree. We literally said, you said on the show yesterday, without ESPN, LeBron's probably not LeBron.
No.
Like, that's real. But at the same time, are they supposed to just go and cover water polo? Like, what would you have them do?
Well, and Big Dog O-Town as usually makes a really good point. He says, do we want style or results? I'm about them results. Program.
Yeah, dude. I cannot disagree.
Program.
Like, it is like, you can't deny the guy has the scoring record now.
That's right.
He has the ability to say he's the greatest scorer the NBA's ever seen because he holds the most points ever scored in the NBA. Now, if you're asking me who's the best scorer of all time, yeah, I think you're probably in the Michael Jordan, Kobe realm. Those two guys, I think just the way they went about the game, the way they played it, they, to me, were the best pure scorers the league's ever seen. But the reality is this guy is the one who broke the record. Not those two guys. Not Kevin Durant. Like, come on.
I agree. James Knight says, I don't hate on LeBron. It's a super slurping that comes with it. Yeah. Well, and I think that's what Jeremy Bolton's point is.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Sefre says, LeBron will always live in the shadow of Joe Ingles. No doubt.
Well, because Joe Ingles is in LeBron's head. That's the thing.
LeBron is no Laker, but he'll do.
Right.
Mike Phillips says the most impressive thing about LeBron is his health and how he's taking care of his body. Dude is still a physical freak. Yes, he is.
Let me ask this question. Now that he's done this, is his jersey going to get put up in the rafters when he's done at Crypto?
I don't think so.
I
don't think so.
Will they do that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. LeBron is not a Laker. Well, LeBron is not he's not Kareem. He's not Magic. He's not Jerry West. He's not Kobe. He's not those guys.
Right.
Is he even Shaq?
No.
He's not.
Well, no, because Shaq is Kobe.
He's not Elgin Baylor. He's not one of the true legends to ever wear a Laker uniform because he's not a Laker legend. He has won one championship. He has not led them. He has not grown them. Right. He didn't do for the Lakers what any of those other guys did. No, I don't think you should retire his jersey.
And I think the person who supports the whole retire his jersey thing and hang his jersey up says, hey, he's got a championship and he did break the record and he's done these things. But I'm with you. Like, those guys that have their name in the rafters now, those guys were transformative for the Lakers. Those guys were the Lakers. And that, I think, is the key difference for sure.
Kay Nurin says, going to Quick Quack this morning, the best feeling having a clean car.
Hey, man.
There's no doubt about that, my friends.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about that. Make sure you send us a picture, man. Always love seeing you guys hook it up with our clients. Quick Quack Car Wash presents all of our Utah Jazz and NBA talk on this here fine Monty program.
Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you the secret to impressing my neighbors, the Wyatt coworkers, you name it. I just swing by Quick Quack. It seriously takes 2 minutes, and people can't stop, won't stop checking me out. Getting a clean car is definitely my best life hack. Kids are messy, camping's dirty, but my truck sure isn't.
Can't stop, won't stop checking them out, man.
Yeah.
That's why I shop at Quick Quack.
That's right.
I want all them people checking me out.
We really did.
Teddy Wayman says, watching LeBron hit that record was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Ken Williams says he's a Laker, LOL. Easy to hate. No doubt about that. Greg Romano, good morning. If Kareem can celebrate LeBron's success, then so can I. I agree with that. Dallin Watts, how the heck are you, Dallin? LeBron may not be the purest ISO scorer, but in the flow of basketball game, he's the best scorer of all time. Fast break shooting, driving on the post, he can do everything. And what we were talking about earlier, if you're just tuning in, is like Mike and Kobe made it look easy, effortless.
Yeah.
LeBron has to work hard for what he gets because he's just not a gifted natural scorer, in my opinion.
And I think the other big difference between Bron and like Kobe and Michael is it appears as though like when I sit here and I think about LeBron, it's easy to say he doesn't have a killer mentality. This is the other argument I've heard. Hey, Bron doesn't have a killer mentality. Bron's not a killer. And I tend to disagree with that because he's definitely had killer type moments in the NBA. But it was like the lifeblood of Michael and Kobe. Michael's out here intimidating people. Kobe's out here just owning people, just the emotionally dominating you. And LeBron is much more of just like, hey, I'm better than you, and I'm going to play my game, and we're going to win the game, and that's it. And it's just a different way he's gone about it. And frankly, no one's ever done it the way Bron's done it. And that also, I think, contributes to people hating because when someone's done something you've never done, you're going to hate on them.
Eric in the receiving department.
Oh, okay. How's the TPS reports?
All the hype set LeBron up for failure, and somehow he lived up to it. Who else has ever done that? I mean,
great point, dude.
Great point.
Great point.
On the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yep.
He's like Tom the GOAT, a great player. However, I don't like him and didn't watch the game. Just don't care, Kay Nurin says. To you and I are old enough to see both LeBron and Michael's careers, and my guess is we both have the same player as the GOAT, Mike.
Yeah.
It is Mike. But, James, it's interesting you bring that up as we talk about LeBron James breaking Kareem's record here on the Showgram. What I find very interesting about this is the guys who were on the court with LeBron last night, including Chaboy, Josh Giddey, who I thought had some really interesting words about LeBron.
Yeah, it's obviously special. I mean, this day, not many people thought this record would ever be broken. And to be a part of history with one of the all-time greats is a special moment. I was secretly hoping he would do it tonight just so I could be here and witness this just as everyone else did. As a player, you also are a fan. And, the things he's done for the game over the last, 20 or so years has inspired and is a mentor and role model to kids all around the world. So he was, to me, my favorite player growing up. So, to be on the floor, and share history, like we did tonight was special. And, it's a record that, never and again in our lifetime will it, be broken.
Yeah, Josh Giddey of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who almost knocked LeBron out of that game with an elbow to the face.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to hear a young guy like Giddey say that, I think is huge. But I also think this is interesting. Look at Anthony Davis here. Yeah! Anthony Davis, number 3, right there wandering. Watch what he does. He sits down. LeBron now is going to break the record. Just watch Anthony Davis. There's the record going down. Anthony Davis didn't even clap. Like, he doesn't even clap.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a conversation point. I don't know. I mean, obviously, Bron had sat down with him after the ceremony and everything, kind of like when the game calmed back down and was back in normal flow. And they were sitting together, and, Bron was mic'd up last night and, told Anthony Davis that he loves him and it's all love and, positive vibes and everything. So it seems like they're fine, but I tend to agree. That's not a great look if you're Anthony Davis. And this conversation around, being a teammate of LeBron James and being a teammate specifically that has high expectations put on your shoulders like Anthony Davis does, and then falling way short of those expectations pretty much on the regular, that's a heavy thing, dude.
Well, and what they always say is don't pay attention to those who cheer the loudest. Pay attention to those who don't cheer at all.
Yeah.
And he didn't. Pretty cool video, though. Here's what Bronny saw. Bronny James, LeBron's oldest son, and his youngest son were also there. Pretty cool viewpoint to watch your dad do something so special.
Look how close he is. Fade him. Fade him. Fade him.
Watch how close he gets. Yeah, dude. He even turns the camera and watches.
It's awesome. That's your dad you're watching do that.
Right here.
I mean, that's awesome. How can, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're sharing that moment with your kid. You know, it's unfortunate Russ got the assist, so he'll go down in history. But I think it's really cool. The moment was really cool. As a parent, I would love to share that moment with my kid. Like,
Yes.
That's got to be so rewarding. That's why, and Jake and I talk about this all the time. Like, having kids is really special to share moments like that. How are you not happy for LeBron and Bronny? And it's amazing. I thought it was a great moment. I thought, that he deserved everything he gets, man. Like, the guy has worked really hard. LFG says LeBron James is transcendent, one-of-a-kind player like Wilt or Dr. J.
Agreed.
Ron Nolan says Wilt Chamberlain, the greatest scorer of all time, over 40,000 points on the court, over 20,000 off the court. What a stud. So we did over 20,000 off the court.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's
Not too
okay.
familiar with that.
That's fine. Well, is Wilt
I'm
Chamberlain
unfamiliar with it.
Is Wilt Chamberlain really known as you know what that's a reference to, Jake?
Mm-mm.
You don't know what that's a reference to?
No, I don't know what that's a reference to.
Wilt Chamberlain is known as quite literally a sex machine.
Okay, a pipe layer.
He is in the union.
Yeah.
Is somebody that, let's see, Wilt Chamberlain, Lane, women count.
Body count.
Like, he says that Wilt Chamberlain claimed to have slept with over 20,000 women during his life. In his book, he shared a story about how the legendary basketball player came up with that number, Rod Roddenwig. Yeah, okay. Do you know who Rod Roddenwig is? I think I saw him in a real famous movie called Never mind.
That's right, T.
Over 20,000 women. Who do you believe that?
No.
You don't believe that?
No. He didn't come anywhere near 20,000 women. I think maybe 5,000. Okay, sure. You didn't do 20,000 women, dude. No doubt. Like, I have no doubt about that.
Well, I didn't, but I think Wilt did. How would you,
Yeah.
How would you not? How would you not? I don't know. I could be wrong. All right, let's talk Utah Jazz basketball. They've got Rudy and the T-Wolves in tonight at 7 o'clock. What do you guys think happens leading up to the NBA trade deadline? I think this is one of those things where I don't think anybody has a real firm grasp on where Danny Ainge is trade-wise. And I think, one of the things that Danny Ainge does really well, better than most people does, is he uses smoke screens. And I think there is a lot of action around the Utah Jazz. I think the only team that's busier right now, frankly, is the Brooklyn Nets, who I still maintain will end up with Fred VanVleet. I think that is very close to happening. But if I look at Danny Ainge, Danny's got three of the most in-demand players in the league right now. Mike Conley, whose value is a little less now because Fred VanVleet's available. But Malik Beasley and Jordan Clarkson are in demand around the league. And my question is, who gets moved? Who do you think gets traded? Jake, who's here and who's gone when the trade deadline passes tomorrow afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a difficult question to answer, mainly because of this Ryan Smith angle about how he has some affinity for Jordan Clarkson and has this, thought and really what I'm going to call a prayer and a hope that they can re-sign Jordan in the summer. And so who's going to be here and who's not going to be here? I'd be surprised if Malik Beasley was still here after the trade deadline. I'd be surprised if Jared Vanderbilt didn't get moved at the deadline. And frankly, I'd be a little surprised if Mike Conley also didn't get moved before the deadline. And really, with those three guys, they are good fits on a lot of teams. And that's why I think you have options there. And I think Danny wants to stockpile draft assets and, that's the route they want to go. But I don't think those three guys will be here. But again, I agree, nobody truly knows. But if I had to guess, I don't think they will be here. This Jordan Clarkson thing, though, it does bother me a little bit. I've really been working hard on trying to empathize and trying to get on the same thought process as Ryan Smith. Trying to understand, hey, what is it that you see in Jordan Clarkson, truly and genuinely, that makes you think it's okay to try to compete to re-sign him this offseason and quite literally take the risk of getting absolutely nothing in return for him leaving your team? What about that makes you think that that's okay? Has he told you that, yeah, I'll work with you guys on it? Or like privately, has Jordan Clarkson said that to them? Well, not that we've heard, right? No, we haven't heard that. Like, in fact, publicly, he said just the opposite in the Philippines. So to me, I don't understand it. And this trade deadline is super important. If they were already a good team and they just kind of need to add a piece here or there, okay, keep JC, fine, whatever. But this is one of your most valuable trade assets. Why would you not get something in return? And then if he wants to come back, great, sign him. That's what I'm really struggling with this. But those, Conley, Vanderbilt and Beasley, I would expect those guys to be gone.
My guess is that Conley and Beasley get moved. That's my guess. I think that happens. I think more likely Vanderbilt also gets moved than not likely. I agree with you. And in that, I don't think Ryan Smith wants to trade Jordan Clarkson. I've been told that specifically. I was told by a source yesterday that the belief around the league is that the Jazz are not going to trade Clarkson, which is why they have an exceptionally high price tag on him, very much like Alex Caruso in Chicago. Both of them require 2 first-round picks and a player, and nobody's paying that for role players. And I think when you look at Jordan Clarkson, this is part of the issue. This decision to start him this year, I think, made it more difficult to trade him. And I think the other thing that it does is it makes it more difficult to put him back in the 6-man role on this team. And I think that's where, if he's going to be here, and again, I am not advocating for Jordan Clarkson to be here, I would trade him. And I think if he's going to be here, he's got to be your 6-man, because on a championship team, Jordan Clarkson's a 6-man, period.
Yeah.
And a really good one, but you can't put the ball in his hands in the last 5 minutes of the game and think that you're going to get a positive outcome. I think that's one of the most difficult conversations they have about JC is you can't believe that when you give him the ball in the last 5 minutes, it's going to get in the hole. I think that if they wanted to trade him, they would have already.
Mm-hmm.
They have, Jazz sources have told me, they have a first-round offer on Jordan Clarkson, and they have not made that trade. Danny, and again, I was also told yesterday that Danny's got a deal for all of these guys. Danny's got a deal for Jared Vanderbilt, and as I understand it, the Knicks would like Jared Vanderbilt. The Sixers would like Jared Vanderbilt. I think very much the Sixers would like to do a deal with Jordan Clarkson and Jared Vanderbilt. Malik Beasley is of interest to them. I still maintain that Malik Beasley and Kelly Olynyk, their best opportunity to get moved is to Miami. But I don't know that Miami has the assets to do that because Duncan Robinson's contract, I don't know that I'd say it's a non-starter. It's just not what's going to get a trade done.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go and get something else. And I also think this situation in Phoenix that we've been telling you about, Matt Ishbia has taken over control of the Suns, but he brought in Isaiah Thomas for a significant role in the front office, or will be. Does that mean that Isaiah Thomas is in control? Is he the CEO or GM or in charge of personnel? That'd be shocking because I think James Jones has done a very nice job there. Why would you take James Jones out of control there? I think that's a mistake. I don't know what the Suns are. They are very much a wild card in this trade market. They have all of their future draft assets, all of their first-round and second-round picks. They have talent that is in desire, and they've got to move Jay Crowder. And again, I think we told you last week, Jay Crowder was all but sent to Milwaukee, and they were just waiting for Ishbia to take control of the team to make that happen. And now he's got control. Does that happen today or tomorrow? Yeah. I think there's a real good chance that does.
Well, and I think the conversation around their draft compensation and their willingness to move it also is really a big question mark. I mean, a lot of people thought, hey, well, they have, because the Suns control their draft capital, and they have first-round picks, and they have things that are really valuable in the trade market, but they weren't willing to move them. And that was the hesitation around the John Collins deal with Atlanta and Phoenix for the 3-teamer that Danny was in.
Yeah.
And a lot of people felt like, oh, well, that's because, you've got good old Bobby Sarver, stopping these deals. And now it's the hope is, and I agree, this Isaiah Thomas thing is it's definitely
a head scratcher,
yeah,
man.
It's negative as hell. But I think my hope is that because now Ishbia's got control, they're willing to work with some of that draft capital.
We'll see. I think it's a really interesting move. But again, specifically to the Jazz, I mean, I think you are looking at 2 deals is what it feels like to me. I think Mike Conley. I think there's a real good chance that Mike Conley ends up with the Clippers because I think Brooklyn is so close to a mega deal with Toronto. If they wind up with Van Vliet and Siakam, I mean, that's a hell of a pickup for them.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think that they want OG Anunoby all by themselves. I don't. I think they need a point guard. They need a guy that they can give the ball to and control it. And I think when you look specifically at Brooklyn, one of the things that I think is so fascinating now is Cam Thomas's situation, because Cam Thomas has had a nice 3-game run here. But is Cam Thomas having that run with Kevin Durant in the lineup? I think very clearly he's not. Is Cam Thomas dropping 40 if you make a deal that brings in Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam with Kevin Durant? Absolutely he's not. He goes back to being a role player. But one of the things that I think is so interesting is Kevin Durant really likes Cam Thomas. And I think he is going to want to have a bigger role. And from what I understand, and I believe Woj is the one that reported this first, they're not trading Kevin Durant right now.
No.
If Kevin Durant's going to get moved, it's going to be in the summer. It would be a shocking reversal if they traded him. I think more likely what Brooklyn's going to do is they are going to go and get Fred VanVleet. And I think they would like to add Pascal Siakam to that deal. Do they have the balls to make that trade? That's a big transformative deal. But if you put VanVleet and Kevin Durant on the same team with Siakam and Cam Thomas, and you wind up trading Watanabe and probably Joe Harris, man, I think that's a no-brainer. If you can get that deal done. You're going to have to balance salaries, obviously, based on where Brooklyn is. And Brooklyn doesn't have draft capital to provide. But if you are able to do that, I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense. They cleared cap space yesterday and a roster spot. This feels like they're going to make a big trade. And I also think the same exact thing is the case as well with the LA Clippers. I think the Clippers recognize, and this is why Mike Conley's so important, I think the Clippers recognize they're a point guard away from giving guys like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard the rest that they need, because those two guys are out of gas at the end of games. They're not far away from being the best team in the Western Conference. Right now, you can tell that they are just muddling along, trying to keep Kawhi and Paul George healthy. And I think if you add a Mike Conley and a Jared Vanderbilt, or if you add a Mike Conley and you wind up moving pieces out on that, I think it makes a lot of sense to add Kelly Olynyk to that deal. I think it makes a lot of sense if you're the LA Clippers. One thing that doesn't make sense to me, I don't know what you would do with a Rudy Gay. A lot of people have talked about having Rudy Gay in that trade. That doesn't make a lot of sense for me. I think the trade that Rudy Gay makes a lot of sense is in fact the other side of the hallway. That's the Lakers deal. I think if the Russell Westbrook trade happens, and again, I think we've been pretty consistent on this, that Russell Westbrook is absolutely an option for the Utah Jazz. As a buyout candidate, you would make that trade, you would buy him out, and you would take his cap space happily into the summer. I think that trade makes a lot of sense because you also have a lot of pieces that fit in that. You would get 2 future first-round picks, but let's be honest, those picks are probably, even if they do wind up conveying where you think they will, and you wind up executing those picks, they're probably not going to be worth a whole lot. I think if you are the LA Lakers and you can add, a Mike Conley, a Jordan Clarkson, and you wind up adding somebody in the line of a Talon Horton Tucker to make that trade work, there's no reason you're not going to send out Russell Westbrook, and whoever you want to put in that deal. I'm obviously going to ask for Austin Reeves. I doubt they're going to make that deal. But if I'm gonna make that trade and I'm gonna give you Lonnie Walker and 2 first-round picks with Russ, it's going to be tough for Danny Ainge to say no to that.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's always been this thing where Danny's got deals on the table, but those are just meh deals. Those are just like, yeah, sure, we could make that deal, but this is what we're trying to do. And the only question is if Ryan and Danny are willing to bring those prices down to get deals done that actually are of big benefit, or maybe transformative is the better word to use. Like deals that actually have some consequence.
Yep, I agree. This hour of the show, Crumb, is brought to you by our good friends at Barbecue Pit Stop, bbqpitstop.com. Make sure you check out any of their 5 Utah locations, Logan, Layton, Lehigh, St. George, and our good friends in Murray, right across from the mall on State Street. And oh, by the way, no matter where you listen to this show, the best barbecue equipment, supplies, seasoning, rubs, sauces, it's all online, and it's all available to you online at bbqpitstop.com. And again, you're buying excellence. You already know when you hear Barbecue Pit Stop, it's the best equipment in the business, right? You know that as well as we know that. And when you think Barbecue Pit Stop, and you're thinking about, hey, am I gonna wind up getting a a Traeger? Am I going to wind up getting a Yoder? I'm telling you, it's a Traeger Ironwood XL. Barbecue Pit Stop, bbqpitstop.com. Make sure you find any of their Utah locations from, again, Logan, Layton, Lehigh, St. George, Murray on State Street, across from the mall. It is Barbecue Pit Stop. Talking Utah Jazz basketball on the NBA trade deadline. Let's see. Snipes Entertainment says if they want to get RJ, if they want to get better, RJ needs to be traded. Oh, you're talking about the Knicks. Yeah. Yes, you are. I'm sorry. The Knicks aren't going to do anything. Well, it's funny how the tides have turned on this. And we've talked about this quite a bit on the show. The Knicks absolutely should be the landing spot for OG Anunoby. The problem is, I think Tom Thibodeau has to go. He cannot. Tom Thibodeau, if you watch the Knicks as much as we do, you know that Tom Thibodeau that team should be significantly better than they are. You're just wasting Derrick Rose, who I think could be a valuable bench contributor for any contending team. But I agree with you, Snipes. I think RJ Barrett's a guy that is not a championship player. And then I'll go back to what we said over the summer that pissed off all the Knicks fans. But RJ Barrett is soft. He's a guy that one night can give you 40 and then another night can give you 6 because you can get in his head. And I think that he does not naturally fit, in my opinion, with where they are and where they're going. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the other enigmas on this team, obviously, Snipes, is still Julius Randle. I think when you look at Julius Randle and you look at how well he's played, and I'll die on the hill that he's been the best power forward at times in this league this season. He has absolutely been a stud. Now, obviously, he's gone through bad shooting stretches. Well, who hasn't? But you put him and Jalen Brunson together, and all of a sudden, Julius Randle is a much better player. My guy, Emmanuel Quickley, who I thought was the deal breaker in the Jazz Knicks trade. I wouldn't have made a Don trade without Emmanuel Quickley. Yeah. I think that much of him. I think you have those three guys together, and I think you have a bunch of other guys. I still maintain that Quentin Grimes is not some end-of-the-world player. Cam Reddish should have been traded already, which is why I go back to the original question we talked about with the Knicks is, how willing is Leon Rose to do a deal right now to try and push this team into a home court advantage position in the East?
Yeah.
I don't know, because you can't tell me that Cleveland's going to stand pat. You can't tell me that. I mean, one of these teams in the East is going to get hosed.
Yep.
Because there is, in my mind, not enough sellers in the market to make 5, 10, 15 transformative deals.
Facts.
And the team that feels like they're going to get left on the outside looking in right now is the Sixers, because I don't see the Sixers. I don't hear a lot about the Sixers. I hear the Sixers want Malik Beasley, but I don't know what you have to offer in return on that. The Knicks have everything they could possibly ever want or need to make one of the biggest trades. Will they do that now? Or will they do that in the summer? Because I still maintain that facial recognition. You need to forget that happened. And the best way to do that is go make a trade and go be a home court advantage team in the Eastern Conference.
But isn't this what we talk about with the Knicks all the time? Every single year?
I agree.
They're going to wait till the summer. They're going to wait till the summer. That's my problem with what I hear out of Jazzland right now. I'm not hearing, hey, we're looking to make big deals. We're looking to transform this roster. I'm hearing more about new clothing lines and Travis Scott than I'm hearing about big.
But Jake, I think the Knicks have the opportunity to if you look at the standings, right now,
yeah,
and you understand the Knicks are a good team, and all of this to say, you're not firing Tom Thibodeau now or in the summer. I don't think. I think he's singularly the biggest problem.
Yeah,
but you look at where they are. The Knicks are in 7th, 9 back. To get home court advantage, you're only 4 games off the Cavs.
Yeah.
And you know Donnie's going to miss time down the stretch. That's inevitable. Donovan Mitchell always misses games late in the season. Why are you, as the New York Knicks, at least not trying to stay out of the play-in and get into the 4, 5, 6 conversation?
Donnie, please.
Because you're not that far away. If you add OG Anunoby, you're in the 4, 5, 6 conversation.
Yeah.
You are. You instantly get better defensively with OG Anunoby there. I think it's one of those things that you just wonder how much is it Dolan and how much is it Leon.
They let you down.
And inevitably the Knicks do. The East is clearly not nearly as tight as the West.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at a Jazz team that is in 10th. They're 11 games out, which is to say they're 3 games off of home court advantage in the West. In the 10th spot, you're 3 games out.
Yeah. And
right?
that's what I'm saying. Like, for all this logic that we talk about with the Knicks, I believe we should be applying similar logic to the Jazz. Like, I understand that this year isn't the year for the Jazz that, you were ring chasing or trying to get to the NBA Finals. I get that. I understand, like, where you are and where you're going. But are you really telling me that if you were to make a couple of trades here and really bolster this roster at the deadline and really take that through the second half of the year and into the summer, that you wouldn't have a really strong finish to the back end of the year? Like,
I can't believe it.
I just believe that you could be a Cinderella story. We hear so much. And I was thinking about this clothing line, because you guys know this Counterpoint clothing line came out for the Jazz. And you know that came out on the same day that Ryan and Mrs. Ryan were on the dais talking about the All-Star break and everything and whatever. And I can't help but wonder if this clothing line is yet another ploy to make more money for the organization, because I don't feel like it's not a bad clothing line, but it's not also unique or like must have. It's just another thing.
It's not even a good clothing line. Let's just be really honest about this. This is what you're talking about here, this Jazz Counterpoint clothing line, I agree with what you said yesterday. I think they're trying to be off-white.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And the fact that it's $60 for a sweatshirt that is not special or unique.
That better be a nice-ass sweatshirt.
Right? Like you're talking about $50 for T-shirts that are not special or unique. If somebody's walking down the street with that white T-shirt on there on screen left there with the yellow Jazz logo that says Counterpoint, what point am I countering?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't understand what we're talking about. And, they're talking about how, this is made with high-end cotton and finished with an oversized iconic Counterpoint logo. Like, what does this mean? Tell me again. You just said in the description here, and if you look at this description right here on this sweatshirt, the Counterpoint iconic logo. What does that mean? What do you mean? It's an iconic. Nobody knows what Counterpoint is, dude. And again, we're all salesmen. I get it. If I tell you it's iconic, it's iconic. I'm not paying $60 for a sweatshirt that is not black and yellow and says Utah Jazz on it.
Yeah.
And I'm barely doing that.
Yeah. But my point in all of this was that all that's true, and I'm hearing more about Counterpoint and Travis Scott and the issues that come with Travis Scott than I am hearing about stuff getting done. And like, you know what I mean? And that's what I worry about. And I've been saying this, like, the All-Star game is great. It infuses a ton of cash into downtown, obviously into the organization. Like, you renovated the building. Like, hey man, I get it. Do we have another caller on the show, on the program?
No, I'm pretty sure I know who that is. I'm not going to answer that. It's a blocked call.
Okay, cool. So anyway, point is there's a lot of distractions right now. And when I hear and I think about the Utah Jazz, and I hear and I think about the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks have been a franchise every year for the last however long that have always been, they're going to make a playoff push. They're going to be really good. And then they fall apart down the stretch. I'm not even hating on the Knicks. I'd love for them to be good, but that's who they are right now.
Yeah.
The Jazz are an organization with a new owner who's young and energetic and out in the world and doing things. And I love that about Ryan Smith. I really do. I really respect the guy's hustle. I love it. But what I'm concerned about, Ryan, is that you're distracted. I'm concerned that you are more focused on Counterpoint and renovating the building and making sure that Travis Scott is happy at Astro World in the parking lot. What was that?
I don't know. My phone is doing some weird stuff, dude. Anyway, yeah, I think that you know why he's not focused on winning? Because they don't have to be. There's no expectation that this team is going to win. There is no expectation this team's going to win. And there's no expectation that they will win now. And I think that, to me, is the most significant part of all of this.
Yeah.
Is that they don't have to win now, and the building is still full. They don't have to win now, and you're going to go buy Counterpoint merchandise. So I want to see what the Jazz do at the deadline. Every move counts at this phase of your reconstruction. So,
and by the way, I just want to say, if Friday, when we do the show, they've made trades and they've done things.
No, on tomorrow, when we're doing an emergency show in the middle of the day, because they've made huge trades, I'll be a very happy man for you.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what the Jazz should be doing.
Yeah.
That's what they should be doing.
I agree.
You know, like I don't know who this is calling me.
They've called you again?
Yeah, they're calling me again. I don't know who that is. I don't know.
Okay.
Block number is calling me multiple times. And there's only 2 people who call me from a block number, and I think you know who that is.
Yeah,
but
I understand.
We'll see. I don't know.
Okay.
Good
talk.
We feel better now.
Yes, good talk.
Telephone sources, yeah. You know what's funny? This dude on Twitter, and I don't know what I did to this guy, that he is so pissed off. But this guy, Corey, this guy tweets at me every day, and he says, eat shit, Monty, like every day.
Yeah.
I don't know this dude. So he put up a poll last night, and he says, does the Monty Show have sources? I'm going to vote no in that poll. Like, it's hysterical to me that you guys there are some people, and Corey is like one of the guys, and it's hysterical to me.
They listen every day.
You put so much energy into being angry and hate.
Yeah.
And I've never understood that.
Yeah.
I've never understood that.
They listen every day, bro.
It's funny to me because they just don't understand. Like, go do something else. You know, and this is kind of the LeBron conversation we've had. Like, it's interesting to me that this is what you choose to do with your life.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it because you're spreading the gospel of Monty. Hey, knock yourself out, dude. I'm all for you putting up polls. I'll vote in them happily. I'm all for you telling me to eat shit. I'll retweet it happily. Like, you're making me, bro.
Talk
you're
about
not
me on the
breaking
radio.
me.
Talk crap to me
Please.
on Twitter. Get pissed. I said it costs
It's
money to
hysterical.
read your article when it doesn't. Like, all these people. That's just what it is. And the
Yes.
funny thing is, like, you know, we had and we spoke on this already, I'm sure. But for the new people, like, we had a moment, 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, or whenever that was, where we had someone say, like, oh, well, you guys only have a certain amount of subscribers, and that means that it's physically impossible for you to have a certain amount of views. And we've had other people say, oh, well, you're on YouTube, you don't have ratings. And it's like, dude, you don't understand how this game works. And it's funny because I love that we're in that position. They don't understand that by talking about us and doing polls and hating on us, what happens to someone who's never heard of us before? And you're just hating on us. Well, they're going to go and check us out because they want to see. They want to see. Well, is this really what this is?
I cannot tell you how many people come to this show and they're like, "Oh, I used to hate you guys. You didn't have any sources," and then you guys, like, the things you said started happening. That is a daily occurrence on this show,
quite literally.
But I don't. Aside from all that, why are we so enamored with hating? Why are we so enamored with negativity? And I don't mean like it could be the State of the Union last night with Joe Biden. It could be like Mrs. Monty and I are sitting there watching the State of the Union last night. And I said, I just want to turn this off. Like, I don't happen to be a fan of Joe Biden and the way that he speaks. It bothers me. And my wife is like, well, I want to watch it. And so we're sitting there watching it. And all these senators that are yelling heinous things at him. And it's just like, you put so much energy into hating on Joe Biden and LeBron James, and that you're not taking care of yourself. Like, you're putting so much energy. Anthony Davis put so much energy into not clapping that you expose who you are.
After
right?
the street closed Davis.
It's amazing how many people in this world spend vital minutes and hours being like angry and being negative. And it's why, if you follow me on Twitter, I don't reply to I don't read most of my notifications. because I just choose not to have that negativity in my life. But the best thing is I tweet something. Hey, like I tweet links to our show every day. One of the top referral sources for our YouTube channel is Twitter. Like it has a use, but I'm going to control how Twitter impacts me.
Yep.
I'm going to control why, and we talked about this on some shorts the last few days. Why don't I watch CNN or Fox News anymore? Because it's just negativity.
Facts.
That's all it is. It's just negativity. So I choose yesterday. I picked my car up from the Audi dealer. What did I do? Did I turn on sports talk radio here? I didn't. I plugged in my iPhone and I was bouncing to some music on the way home.
And what happened? You got to the store and you were in a good ass mood.
Because you learn quickly when you turn off the negativity and you listen to people who matter to you, who impact you, and you surround yourself with people that fill your space up with positivity, and they energize you, they inspire you. Like my wife literally every day inspires me. That she's dealing with this broken arm, and just her work ethic and her spirit. She didn't let this arm break her, right? She didn't let this arm get her down. Has she had moments? Sure she has. But her spirit has been so strong and so high. It's inspiring to me. And, talking to people like a really good friend of mine just broke up with his longtime fiance. They had been together for like 7 years. And we were talking about how much they had struggled because he is really a career guy, and he works in sports television, and he's a big career guy. And it's like, hey, dude, he's like, the negativity was just so much. There was so much frustration that I just chose to get out of it. And that to me is so inspiring.
Yeah.
And I hear all these people, like another friend of mine, his dad passed away, and it had this profound impact on him. And we had this phone conversation, and just hearing him talk about how my life's not over. I need to pick up and I need to move on, but I'm going to live in this moment, and I'm going to let these feelings sink in, and I'm going to feel all of this pain and suffering. And it's like, damn, dude, that's what it's about. But on the regular, if you're going to surround yourself with people that are constantly angry, that are constantly snarky, that are always sarcastic, that never say, hey, how are you? How was your day? Hey, tell me about how work was. Hey, tell me about this. How's your mom? How's your cat? Like, if you're not having those positive conversations, I just don't know what you're doing. Because you're not living your life. It's one of the things that's so interesting. Like one of the guys locally, Porter at ESPN 700, had gotten into an altercation with a national media member. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say the guy's name because I just think the guy is the scourge of the world. But Porter had sent this guy some negative DMs on Twitter.
Yeah.
And people got into Porter about that. And it was one of those things where I don't know Porter Larson at all. Like, I don't. We have a Twitter relationship. And I sent him a note, and I said, I stand with Porter Larson. I support Porter Larson. And he replied, and he said, I really appreciate that. Because it's so easy when you're laying there on the ground bleeding, the hyenas show up and just rip you apart. And we've all been there. We've all been in a position where we've said something or we've done something or we were rude to our wives and we wind up having this big fight, and you know how that feels.
Let's settle this right now.
But you're like sitting there self-deprecating, and I'm a POS, I'm a terrible husband, I'm not a good friend, and it's the worst feeling in the world. And what the last thing you need there is like, yeah, God, you're a terrible husband. You're a terrible boyfriend. What you need is, hey, you know what, man? Here's an opportunity for you to, hey, go and heal your relationship. Go tell your wife how you're honestly feeling. Go tell your husband how you're feeling. Go tell your mom how you're feeling. It's that whole thing where I'm a big believer in picking up your phone right here, right now, and telling your wife or telling your son or telling your best friend, hey, I miss you, dude. Hope you're doing well, man. Just sitting here thinking about you. How's your day going? How are things going? That's what life is about. And if you're the guy that's on Twitter, or if you're the guy that's on Snapface or Instagram, leaving all the negative comments, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like on our show, If you're one of the haters on our show, there's a million other shows that you love. Go listen to them. Go, what are you doing here? That's one of the things that's truly amazing about what we do.
Yeah.
Is we meet so many people every day. And the thing that really kills me is 100 people are positive. There's that one guy. And I always want to say to that one guy, what are you doing here then?
Yeah. And it's funny that there are people out there who just enjoy it. Like, it's like they said in The Dark Knight, right? Like, there are just people out there who want to watch the world burn. That happens every day on this channel, where you have one commenter who's just negative. And that's fine. And that's why I've said, like, the negativity train stops when you let it stop. When you say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, he put a poll on Twitter that said, does the Monty Show have sources? Okay, great.
Cool.
Let him do that.
Thank you for doing that.
Good. Who cares? We know that we have really strong, typically double and triple sourced information that you guys don't get until it's double or triple checked. And the reason for that is because we don't have ESPN behind us. I don't have the Church of Latter-day Saints supporting my radio station. So I don't get the benefit of being wrong or being on the air talking about how I'm getting texts about how a Don deal is done to the Knicks and then it never happened and then I backtracked. Yeah. We don't get to do that. And so to me, that's the greatness of what we do, though, is that we can handle the negativity and the hate however we want because we work for us. And that's just the reality of the situation, bro.
Joe Rakes says, dang, what happened to Jazz Talk? Didn't know this was a therapy show.
Jazz Talk's been going on for 2 hours, bro.
Yeah, and one of the things, if you're newer to this show, the last half hour of the show generally is non-sports. And today it was supposed to be AMC movie theaters, but right now it's all like being more positive in your life, because this LeBron thing had me tripping about that last night. Mm-hmm. Just when he broke that record, watching Twitter like erupt with he sucks and he's not Michael and he's not Wilt, and okay, he's LeBron, and he just broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I think is funny about YouTube, and it's something we go through, and the long times know this as well. We get guys on the show all the time, or accounts on the show, new viewers on the show, who are like, hey, this is a Jazz show, and you're talking about Joe Biden, or you're talking about negativity in life. And it's like, dude, we've been live for, what have we been live for? Almost 3 hours right now.
2 hours and 55 minutes.
So, yeah, I know the thumbnail is a Jazz thumbnail, and I get that, and I appreciate that you're here listening. But I'm just telling you that this show is different than every other show you will find on YouTube. It's a live show every single day that typically has a Jazz topic and really good Jazz talk, and then really good general NBA, and in the NFL season we'll talk football. But yeah, we reserve the right on our show to spend the last half hour talking about whatever the hell we want to talk about. It just is what it is.
My message for you today is shut out the negativity. I mean, it's not worth your time. We have so many good things going on in our lives. Think about that. Think about that you woke up today. Fuck, man. You're so lucky to just have woken up today and gotten out of bed, because how many people didn't? How many people didn't? And the one thing that I in this day and age I always think about, how many people died during the pandemic? None of us did.
Yeah, we survived. You survived the layoff of life.
How many people in tech are losing their jobs this week, next week, last month? You didn't. I didn't. We're here. We're living. We're surviving. Let's be happy about that. That's what I'm saying. Amber, what's up? Says this is the magic of the show. Came for Jazz Talk, stayed for the lessons. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
She said this is the magic of the show. Came for the Jazz Talk, stayed for the lessons. It's important. Honestly, I think it's just so critical that we are, as people, able to have round conversations. Sure, we could talk about Jazz. Hey, man, you know what, Joe, or whoever that was about Jazz? We'll post a highlight after the show of just Jazz Talk. You can go and watch that. Happy to do it for you, man. We do it every day. But I think these conversations, when we're talking about relationships, which I maintain make the world go round, you need to do that. When you're having a great day, this negativity thing, it's so funny. When we're having a really good day, how many people call their mom and are like, hey, Mom, I'm having a great day. How are you? But how many people, when they're having a really bad day at work, or they lost a big client, or they lost their job, they go into isolation. They come in, and what does that do? Instead of reaching out and knowing that, hey, well, you know what? Bob is always a really positive light for me, or Karen's always a really positive light for me. Let me reach out to Stephanie, who I know is going to have a joke or a positive word for me to make me feel better. We'll ostracize ourselves. We'll take everything internally, and we'll fall into this deeper darkness that can lead to things like depression. With the explosion of suicide in this country, it's times like the pandemic, unemployment. Hey, you know what? My money's a little tighter right now. That can weigh on you a little bit more. Go out. Don't go in. Go out when you're struggling. That's how you get out of it.
Aaron right now?
Because I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. The next phone call, the next email, the next text message you get could change your life. But if you're not here for that, screw that guy. You know what? I'm not. That's Steve. I don't want to talk to Steve. Screw him. We just wind up by ourselves, and this life is not meant to be lived alone.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. The Monty Ghost is back.
Welcome back.
Thanks for being a positive light at the end of the tunnel for me, Monty. See what he's a light at the...
Yeah, at the end of the tunnel. Hey, Monty Ghost, did you happen to see Aaron Rodgers in the cave, by the way? Is he okay?
Can
you go check on him for us?
Joe Rake says, no, it's all good. I'll just remember this inspirational segment next time I'm in Walmart. You're going to need it if you're in Walmart. RR says, Jazz Talk. I'm listening just to hear about the meatball marinara commercial.
Damn
exactly right.
Damn right.
Eric in Raleigh says, I'm listening in hopes we get Papa Murphy's Halloween commercials again.
Oh, we will.
Next year.
Yeah.
Lopes Van Gabe, Jazz Talk. I thought this was a Wendy's. Exactly right.
Yeah. Come on.
Exactly right. Lopes Van Gabe, can't wait to see you at spring training, dude. Macho Man Randy Savage, that black call could change your life. Well, I'll find out after the show.
You already know that.
Tanner says it's the Monty Ghost. Sam Lott says, just like you said the other day, you had a guy on here that is by himself, and that said your show created positivity for him.
Yeah.
Sam says, mad love and respect for you guys. Appreciate you, Sam.
Appreciate you, Sam.
Listen, I think that's one of the reasons we do this show every day. That conversation, I don't talk about that stuff. I learned a big lesson over the holiday when we did that give back to our listener, give back to our community.
Yeah.
A lot of people said, hey, please don't talk about me. Hey, I need help, but don't mention my name.
The shame of it is incredible. Like, the power of shame is amazing, dude.
And it just doesn't need to be that.
Yeah.
Everybody needs help occasionally.
Yeah.
But it's so common for people to say, like up to 3-4 times, and Jake and I have showed this to Jake like 3-4 times. We have had people tell us, hey, you know what? This kid in the Philippines told us, hey, I found your show for Jordan Clarkson Talk, but, you guys really picked me up. I was thinking, I lost my job. I live alone. Like, he was talking about how he had thought about suicide, and I do not say this lightly. He said, I didn't want to miss your show tomorrow. And it's where our little saying of today's not the day we're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Today's not the day I'm going to die. Today's not the day. It's not the day. And I said that to that guy. And that's one of the main reasons we do this show, because we're a community.
Yeah.
I tell you every day to join our group. Dude, if you're in the Instagram members only group, I'm telling you it's transformative.
Yeah, the membership thing isn't about the money for us. It's really not. I mean, we didn't need to do it. We just felt like, hey, there's an opportunity here, and people could have a lot of fun doing this.
Ken's going to the dentist. I have no positivity for you on the dentist.
Damn, just tune in tomorrow.
Good luck, dude. Tanner says, sorry, Ken, good luck. T. Lawrence Gragston. What's up, T?
Up?
Found your show on YouTube. I look forward to it. When my money gets up, I'll be a subscriber. Good morning from Cincinnati. What's up?
What's up, dude?
Appreciate you, T. Good to see you, my guy. K. Nurin says, positive mental health always brings someone up, not down, every day.
Yeah.
I'm a huge believer in smiling and saying hello to everybody you see. If you walk up to me and you don't say anything to me, I'm going to say, hey, how are you, man? Hey, good to see you. How are things? I don't know you. You don't know me. But maybe you pick your head up. It drives me crazy, especially for women. Like, you'll see so many women walking down the street with their head down. That's got to be a tough place to be. Pick your chin up.
Yeah.
Pick your chin up. Hey, how are you? How's it going? Treat everybody like gold. The Monty Ghost. Aaron Rodgers is here. A bit much ayahuasca, though. Doing what I can to help.
Appreciate you, man.
Right. Ken Williams also said, I love the part of the show. It's personal. I appreciate that. Jeremy Bolton says, have a good one, guys. My wife can't wait to meet Max Tooley. Party's going to be lit.
That's right.
It's going to be lit.
That's right.
It's going to be a lot of fun. That's it. Show's over.
Matt, one more. Wait, go back. Matt right there below. The Pac-12 thing right there, right below. We talked about that. Find it earlier in the show. There will be an upload after the show as well.
Yeah, we'll post a highlight of that as well.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to wonder why the F my wife is with me? Jeremy, I wonder that every day about my wife. I'm with you, dude. The Monty Show every day is presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. You never pay them up front. You don't pay The Advocates until they win your case. You didn't deserve to get hit by that distracted driver, but you do deserve an advocate at theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.